690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
One more snap, would you have guessed, when this impossible season was trying to launch, that you'd get it all in, you'd get to Tampa, and when the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady?
I don't know why we ever think it won't. I don't know, Jim and Tony, I think it should have been in the hands of Blaine Gabbert. Why didn't he take the final knee?
Sweet victory for Blaine Gabbert.
How about Missouri coming out with a little Blaine Gabbert salute? Did you see that?
I did not see that one.
That's awesome.
I'm still waiting on that Blaine Gabbert tweet. Or like the Instagram post.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
might have already had one. Who knows?
Yeah.
Good for Blaine Gabbert. Good for Byron Leftwich. Good for Leonard Fournette. Who am I missing? Jadon Mickens. Some of the names of Jags fans. Well, I actually feel good for a guy like Gabbert, man. I mean, he's just been the punching bag for the first part of his career. Good to say, you wade through all that. I understand he's not a big part of it in terms of on the field what we're seeing, but good for him. That's pretty cool that he's able to do it. Chad Henne was able to do it last year, so no problem with Blaine Gabbert getting a Super Bowl. Good for Leonard Fournette. I kind of feel good about where he's come in the last year. What a season for Leonard Fournette. Byron Leftwich going to be a head coach somewhere down the line, no doubt about it. So Tampa Bay Bucs get it done. How about this? Just was thinking of this. How do you sum up this Super Bowl, right? Other than Brady and Gronk. I thought the Patriots were playing for a little bit. But I was thinking of this. Brady has had so many electric moments and games. If you think about the Super Bowls that he's been a part of, whether he won or lost, from the Giants to losing, David Tyree catch. I mean, you think about the Seattle game that they were a part of. I mean, the Rams won the first one. Just unbelievable football game. So much so that the first 8, but especially 9, you could almost say he could have lost too, easily. A lot of those games. And ends up winning. He could have won them all. Could have lost them all. That's how close they were. Well, the last 2, really, they were boring.
Correct.
The last 2 Brady wins were boring. It was one of the most boring games of all time was the couple years ago against the Rams, 13-3. One, because there was a lack of offense. I still claim, I was at that game, and I still claim there was a lack of, replay in that game. So there was no drama built up.
To me, there's still drama, though, because you had 2 defenses playing pretty a high level of caliber of football.
But
and the game was still competitive. I mean, it was close, though.
It was close enough.
Yeah.
But it was still a snoozer. It was kind of especially in modern-day football, the way we're expecting it. And Super Bowls. Super Bowls have gotten very good over the years. Well, this one, I don't think this was a snoozer per se.
Oh, see, me and Kuz had this conversation when I walked in.
Oh, you do?
I think this game was the biggest snooze fest I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
What I think was interesting about it is I was thinking of this, and maybe you guys disagree. Point it out if I'm missing a play. But there was no, big play in the game. There was no turning point. There was no, wow, I'm going to remember this Super Bowl because of that play. Over the weekend on our TV special, we did, the great catch, some of the great catches in Super Bowl history. There wasn't even a great play in the game. Was there really an unbelievable, wow, what a catch by Gronk? Or, I guess the only play you would think would be kind of pivotal, or 2 of them. One was the interception that got waved off because of the flag. I guess you could call that. And then the 4th down. But it's not like that changed the game. The 4th down and goal, they stopped them, but that didn't change the game at all. So there wasn't even a poignant play in the football game.
I mean, there's a couple of them to me where Patrick Mahomes is literally running for his life, and he makes these diving throws, and they go off the receiver's helmet. That should have been, big completions. Those are big plays
maybe
that should have happened.
Mahomes more, right?
Correct. But I think the biggest thing from that game, obviously, is what we take away from it, especially in the first half, was the fact that some of the biggest plays to me were penalties.
Yeah.
They were, and whether those are self-inflicted penalties or questionable calls on Kansas City, but that's what makes me think about that game last night. Now, obviously, in the second half, it almost got to the point where it's well, this game's out of hand. That first drive for Kansas City, it was okay, we've seen this show before. We've seen Kansas City shoot themselves in the foot time and time again, and they always rebound. Well, that first drive to start the second half, they couldn't sustain a touchdown. And then all of a sudden, it's okay, this isn't the usual Kansas City team that we're accustomed to seeing. They have too many injuries on the offensive line, and all of a sudden Patrick Mahomes is looking a little more pedestrian because he doesn't have any time to throw whatsoever.
You know what it felt like? It feels like a little bit in that sense. And disregard kind of the heavy favorite versus the underdog in this instance, but it felt a little bit like Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas, in the sense that if you go back to that fight, even if you watch it on replay, you're like, he's not going to lose to this guy. Like, even though you know he already lost, there's still like a part of me when I go back and watch that fight. It's like, okay, when's Tyson's going to knock him out? He doesn't lose to this guy. When's he going to knock him out? Well, it's like the Chiefs. I didn't think they would come back and win necessarily. But where was the comeback? Like, they never even made it a game. They never even scared the Bucs.
Correct.
Like, that's what was stunning about it is they only scored a field goal, and then the Bucs go down and score and make it 28-9. And bam, just like that, it's like, okay, there's going to be a little drama. This is how football works. We're waiting for it. Mahomes was down 9-0. He was down 24-0 last year. They figured out a way to make big plays against the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. Where is it? Where is it? They're going to figure it out. Andy Reid's smart. Patrick Mahomes is great. Tyreek Hill, get him the football. Never happened.
Couldn't do it.
It just never happened. And I guess we were all kind of waiting for it to happen. And then before you knew it, there were 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And it's like, okay, now they're just going to run the ball out.
Exactly.
It was really wild in that sense. Somewhat of a snoozer of a Super Bowl outside of the storyline. And once again, it's Brady's brilliance. And in this respect, it's funny, I was just talking to my mom coming in. And Mom's not a huge Brady fan, right?
Yeah, sure.
And she doesn't dislike Brady. I don't know why she's not a big Brady fan. Probably got tired of him like I did up in the New England area. But she's like, well, I think it's Gronk. Gronk doesn't get enough credit. Gronk. I was like, yeah, that's true, Mom. But, Gronk won 4 Super Bowls. Brady now has 7. Okay?
Sure.
It's not just Gronk.
Yeah.
And I think this Super Bowl for Brady was less performance-based, although that was brilliant in the first half as well. And more, what I've said to you over the last couple of months, where I think the Brady legacy is going to be written at the end of the day, and I think it's the most important part or most intriguing part of the book. And that's just how good of a teammate he is. I think he is an unbelievable teammate. And we had this discussion on one of our shows in the last 2 weeks when I asked you about stars being teammates, and that's what it was centered around, right? How good of a teammate do you have to be if you're a star? And I just feel like Brady does that so well. He brings in Antonio Brown. He brings in Gronk. They came here because of Brady. But then he made, in my opinion, a guy like Leonard Fournette better. He makes Leonard Fournette attention to detail, probably be on time, probably locked in meetings, because they don't want to let that guy down. And what he did to kind of reform, if you will, the Bucs culture or lack thereof, along with Arians and others. I don't think he's the sole guy here. But what he did, to me, was almost bigger than on the field. It took a little time, took till the second half of the year, but it played out that way. And I think the part of the legacy that's not sexy, if you will, but to me that, again, will have the most interesting movie as you look back on it when players talk about him in a 30 for 30 or the book and the quotes that come out from teammate to teammate is just how good of a guy he is at bringing people together and transforming a locker room. I mean, I don't know if I think there are a few that have done that better, quite frankly.
No, without a doubt. If you're Tom Brady last night, you go 21 for 29, 201 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, 3 touchdowns, very admirable. Let's be honest. 201 yards, like, the game wasn't won and lost on your arm. You had Fournette be able to run the ball pretty well. Obviously, Ronald Jones made an appearance as well. Like, it was an all-around offensive collective that got the job done for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you bring up a great point. And, in terms of, like, trust and in terms of following somebody and being a leader, obviously Tom Brady might be the best to do that of all time. Now, listen, as far as the rah-rah guy, like, I'm sure some of that's there. We've seen glimpses of that before. We've seen behind the curtain a little bit of his ability to motivate players. But there's something to be said for a guy who has played at the highest level, at the highest game of the Super Bowl, time and time and time again. And Leonard Fournette mentioned it last night. Throughout the entire week and really throughout the entire playoffs, Brady was like, we're going to win. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going just that positive reinforcement over and over and over again. And yeah, some players can get by with their skill set and be like, all right, well, this guy is the best player on the field right now. I'm going to follow him. That's great. Now, was Tom Brady the best quarterback last night? Absolutely. But did I leave that game thinking, well, Patrick Mahomes has done? Like, no, if anything, and honestly, as crazy as it sounds, I found a newfound respect for Patrick Mahomes. What he was trying to do with basically nothing on the offensive line. I mean, the guy left it all out there. But my point is with Tom Brady, a guy who's that experienced on the biggest of stages, guys can want to gravitate towards that. Gronkowski, A-B. And it's something to be said, too, as well, where you hear Mike Evans now, you hear Antonio Brown, they're willing to take pay cuts. Well, I mean, obviously, Antonio Brown's going to be a free agent, so we'll see what happens there. But Mike Evans said, hey, I will restructure my deal if we can keep the whole crew together here because I want to win again. That's the power of Tom Brady. You put your trust in someone that's been there over and over and over again and who's had success at the highest of levels.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we'll see. We're going to ask that question. Can they keep it together? I have my doubts on that. Listen, I didn't really think even Kansas City would get back to this game, and they did, but I didn't think they would get back to this game as great as they were and they are on paper. I just think it's that hard to do, And now if you look at it in hindsight, how close are the Chiefs to not winning last year's Super Bowl? They could be like 0-2, and we'd be talking about Buffalo Bills type of stuff. As Jim Kelly and as great as they are and, as exciting as they are, they don't win. Now, they got it done, and they've done that a lot. But, I mean, last year, if you go back to that Super Bowl, remember, it was a 3rd and 13 play. At the end of the half, there was that George Kittle interference play, the push-off. That was very questionable. So they got it done. But you can almost look in the rearview mirror like, wow, they're so close to winning 2 in a row and being this dynastic team. Yeah. But you're also so close to not winning. And again, that's the beauty of Brady. They're able to pull those games out even when it's tight. We'll see if Mahomes can do that. Mahomes might go to 7 Super Bowls. I don't think he's going to 10. But he might go to 7. It's like LeBron in the finals, right? I mean, if you go there a lot, you also put yourself on the table to lose as well. And it's really hard to win a bunch. I mean, the greatness of Joe Montana is fantastic, but he only went to 4. What if he went to 8? Would he have won 8? I don't know about that, As for Mahomes, you said it. There's a respect level for Mahomes, and there should be, by the way. I mean, he handles, at his age, what he already handles. He's really a terrific athlete. I am so impressed at 25 years old at how they handle things more so than his athletic ability. But we were watching in the sports office a little bit last night. It's fun to watch him throw the football, isn't it? Yeah. It's just fun to watch him throw. I think Marino was like that. I think if you go back to Marino, and I know I got a little bias here, but I think a lot of people would say that. I think Marino is just fun to watch him zip the football. Aaron Rodgers has a little bit of that, right? Where you just like to see him flick the ball off his back foot and boom, it goes 60 yards. I mean, there's just something special about it. It's like watching Stanton hit a home run. All right, in batting practice. There's that element with Mahomes. But now how he handles this will be interesting. Already he's done a nice job. In the postgame, not putting any blame. I mean, he had no chance back there. No. And I do think he actually, I won't say saw ghosts or anything, but I think he, in the first 10, 12 minutes of that game, there were a couple of plays in the next 5 or 6 minutes where he escaped and got out of there probably even sooner than he should have because, well, he was under pressure the whole time. And then as it turns out, what is it, like 38 pressures in that game or something ridiculous? How could an offensive line be that bad at this level? I understand they were down a couple guys. But are you surprised they played that poorly?
Oh, no, without it. Well, listen, this is to me, it's a combination of things. Am I surprised that am I surprised that the Kansas City offensive line played like a dumpster fire? I am surprised about that. I mean, I thought for sure you could give Patrick Mahomes 3 seconds to work his magic and make it happen. Yeah. And they couldn't even do that. Now, granted, you had guys playing out of position. You had guys on injured reserve. So I get that it wasn't the full artillery that they had. But I was also surprised from the fact that, listen, it wasn't like Tampa Bay had this new revolutionary defense that beat Kansas City. Give Todd Bowles some credit, all right? Todd Bowles, I mean, talking about Super Bowl MVP Tom Brady, Bowles right up there as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because if you remember how that game transpired during the regular season when KC played Tampa Bay got absolutely embarrassed in their own house, right? Tyreek Hill goes off for, was it 300 yards or 200?
Well, 200 yards in the first quarter.
200 yards in the first quarter. And it was an absolute just curb stomping, let's call it, for the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles has always been known for being a guy who loves the blitz. I think his blitz percentage is around 40%, one of the highest in the NFL. And I remember on Friday when I said they just got to send 4. They just got to send 4, trust in your 4. Now, I'm not sure if I should give Todd Bowles credit here or if he lucked into it. But if you go back to the first quarter, I mean, Tampa Bay got home right away with 4 guys. So I'm not sure if the game plan the entire time was to be like, all right, we're just going to rush 4, and we're going to drop back, play a lot of cover 2, a lot of quarters coverage, obviously try to map up Tyreek Hill as much as possible and see what happens. Or if the game plan was, we're going to blitz Patrick Mahomes, we're going to make him feel uncomfortable. But they never got to that point because the offensive line couldn't block anything. Yeah. I'm not sure what the game plan was. But with that being said, the Buccaneers' ability to send 4 every single down and beat those 5 guys on offensive line, it deserves to be mentioned. And to me, that was the difference of the game right there. Yes, Tom Brady had some nice throws and Leonard Fournette, all this stuff, but that defensive line for Tampa Bay against that offensive line of Kansas City, that was the mismatch. And it looked like it wasn't even like I came away from that game with that offensive line. And once again, I don't want to talk bad and talk smack, but listen, you're on the biggest stage in the Super Bowl. And that was the showing you put out there. Not good for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. The bottom line is I don't know if I'd ever watch that tape if I was the offensive line of the Chiefs. I mean, there's no getting around it. That's a ridiculous amount of pressures. And what we saw, it's so much so that it was so dominant on that side that we were all complaining a little bit about the officiating, I think. There were some questionable calls. I don't understand why uncatchable must not be a thing anymore. Like, I could sit here and do some of that, but it's almost like,
why, I feel about that.
But why even do that? Because the game, they were dominant, man. I mean, if the game came down to a touchdown, I would probably talk about that the second quarter a little bit more, that drive. But it's not even worth it. I mean, because they could have played for another 4 quarters, and I'm not sure how much more Kansas City would have scored.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I mean,
doubt.
They were just that dominant. So, you just mentioned it about the Bucs, and you got to everybody in every defensive coach will sign up for, hey, give me pressure with 4, right? No doubt.
In a perfect world, that's what you want.
Everything easy.
That's what happened with Jacksonville. They couldn't pressure with 4. They had to blitz them.
Do you remember? I think we talked about this with the Patriots and the Rams in that 13-3 game.
Yeah.
And then that the Patriots kind of put a little blueprint together for the league, it appeared, on how to slow up the Rams a little bit.
Well, it was to jam the bunch. But basically what you do, what the Rams did with that tight bunch formation, it wasn't revolutionary, but a lot of teams weren't doing that at that time. And all the Patriots did was say, hey, all right, you want to go in your bunch formation? We're going to have guys jam you on the line, disrupt all your timing, and now your timing's off. Jared Goff gets nervous, and obviously what happened happened.
Which is similar, by the way, to what they did 20 years earlier when Brady won his first Super Bowl, is they really jammed the line of scrimmage and got away with it against the greatest show on turf.
Correct.
And the St. Louis Rams at the time.
Yep.
Well, my question to you is, did the Bucs just provide a blueprint of how to slow down the Chiefs, or was this such a one-off thing because of the front 7 of the Bucs and the lack of offensive line of the Chiefs that, hey, Brent, settle down. It's not like Patrick Mahomes is never going to score a touchdown again.
Yeah.
Where do you fall on that side of it?
No, listen, I would tell you to settle down just a little bit, because a couple of things, in my opinion, I'm not trying to make excuses for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that offense, they faced a juggernaut in the Bucs defense. Simple as that. But I think that if Patrick Mahomes had a halfway healthy foot and he was able to run a little better, you may have seen a couple more rushing yards of Patrick Mahomes, because you saw that in the first quarter. That's the one downside of playing a lot of cover 2, right, is the quarterback has the option to run the football because, well, no one's keeping an eye on him because your back is turned. So when they're in that cover 2 look a lot, I'm like, okay, Patrick Mahomes is going to have a field day with this because he's the ability to run, but then you kind of see him hobble a little bit. You kind of see him like he's not 100% quite yet. So that came into play a little bit. Another thing that came into play that I was kind of surprised about, Edwards-Helaire. Now, I'm not sure how banged up he is. I'm not sure what he's dealing with. But when he got the football in his hands, good things happen.
Pretty good.
And I understand Tampa Bay's got the best rush defense in the entire NFL, and I understand that. But the way he was running the football, I probably would have fed him a little more. And with that being said,
Andy Reid said that post-game.
Correct. And with that being said, when Tampa Bay was in their cover 2 a lot, and it wasn't all cover 2, like I said, I saw some quarters coverage as well, but predominantly it was cover 2. You have 2 guys in the back end protecting that deep ball, right? Because we know Tyreek Hill likes to go deep, and they were protecting that because Tyreek Hill absolutely embarrassed them the last time they played. To beat a cover 2 team, one of the best things you can do, ask the Florida Gators this: you throw the ball to the running back. I didn't see a lot of screens. If I saw screens, they didn't get set up properly.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of, like wheel routes. The quarterback in the pass game, whether it was Helaire or I think it was, who's the other guy? Williams, was kind of lacking.
I agree with you there, too. I think they tried to run coming out of the locker room, and some good things happened.
Yeah.
Right? And then they just didn't cash in with a touchdown.
Yeah.
But I agree with, if you're not going to run, at least throw some screens. Utilize the pass game as the run game. They never really tried to do that. They tried to take their shots down the field quite a bit. I think the unsung hero of this game was the secondary, though, too. The front 7 deservedly gets a lot of attention and should. They were dominant.
Yeah.
But the secondary, man, Even when Mahomes had a minute to throw it down the field, they were all over them.
So, and listen, and I'm not going to question Andy Reid's tactics, man. That guy's a far better offensive mind than I ever will be. But if you want to beat the Kansas City Chiefs going forward, you better hope Patrick Mahomes' foot is hurting him. You better hope you have backup offensive linemen out there. You better hope that they don't choose to run the football. You better hope that they don't throw the running back out of the backfield and cover two. And finally, you better hope that you don't get Patrick Mahomes enough time to throw the ball. Because even though Tyreek Hill was getting double teamed sometimes, I feel like he's so good, he's so quick, where if he has time to work a route, he's going to get open. He had zero time last night to do that.
More on Super Bowl 55. The Bucs and Brady get it done. Plus, Trevor Lawrence is going to have a throw day on Friday. We'll talk a little bit Jags as well. Coming up, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Pretty pleasant today with a partly to at times mostly cloudy sky. Highs in the mid-60s. Partly cloudy tonight, only dropping into the 50s, and partly cloudy and mild for tomorrow and Wednesday. With your First Alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now through Valentine's you can save thousands. Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. Everyone at CGC Water hopes your new year is off to a fantastic start, and CGC Water wants to give you the gift of clean drinking water. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer. $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from the competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
People have been isolated for months by COVID-19. If you're concerned for someone who may be experiencing sexual violence or in need of confidential anonymous information, please call the Florida Sexual Violence Hotline at 888-956-7273 or go online to fcasv.org. Help us end sexual and dating violence in Florida. This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Council Against Sexual Violence, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
If you love golf, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus card fees with the Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club, Fleming Island Golf Club, and 6 others. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King. Plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
The Gate River Run is coming March 20th. The registration for the 15K has now closed, but you can register for the 5K. Visit GateRiverRun.com to register and get complete information.
Brent Martineau.
There's 3 islands, and it can be very nice and lucrative, by the way. You could be a huge winner, but you could be a huge loser, too. You might not have a boat to get home.
Austin Lane.
Well, I like that now. I love that analogy.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
It's hands down one of the greatest accomplishments in sports history. I'm not going to say it's the greatest, but I would say it's up there for sure. You know, to come down here to Tampa, come to an organization that was ready to win, come down here with the players that, you know, they're all fantastic players, great guys, just everyone overall. I mean, just the story is just unbelievable. And it definitely ranks up there as, you know, one of my biggest accomplishments ever.
Rob Gronkowski for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Gronkowski is interesting to me because he comes off like perception of Gronkowski is what? He's like this dumb jock guy, right?
He's a bro.
Yeah. But he's like a party guy. And I think there's a certain amount of intelligence of Gronkowski, especially like IQ on the football field, that he just doesn't get credit for.
Yeah.
I think he's really understands what it takes, first of all, to get his body right in these kind of games, and I think he just understands the game. I mean, you don't have to be book smart necessarily to be football smart, and I think we confuse those sometimes. And again, I mean, the way he presents himself sometimes, smart and Rob Gronkowski don't go together, right?
Yeah.
But I have this level of appreciation for Gronk because I do think he's actually way smarter than people give him credit for. I really do. From on the football field, I really do.
Yeah. No, listen, to play the position that Rob Gronkowski does and to play at a level for so long, it takes some type of intelligence. You know, I mean, granted, you know, he's had his fair share of injuries, but I feel like he's adapted with those, right? Like he's found ways around those type of injuries and had some success still. Now, let's be honest, like even entering this game, it wasn't like, all right, Gronkowski's going to be the X factor per se, even though Brady was saying, I'm going to try to give him the ball. Now, whether that was smoke and mirrors or not, apparently that was the truth.
That was the truth.
Brady was not lying to us.
Led the team in receiving.
But you've always kind of felt like the past couple years, like Gronk hasn't been the Gronk of old. Like, all right, this guy's an absolute mismatch. No matter who you put on him, he's going to get his receptions. Like, his game has changed now. But not to say, like, that's a bad thing, because defenses still have to respect him. You still have to know he's on the field at all times, and you saw that last night.
Here's the thing that I have a lot of. I'm just being honest with you. I can come up with an answer and say why they're doing it, but I really cannot put my arms around the idea that guys like Gronkowski, who it's so noticeable to me, even now his body is still beat up. He's 31. It looks like he's 45. Brady, 43, looks like he's 28.
Yeah.
And Bruce Arians is 68. So I just put those 3 guys out there, okay? Why are they coming back? Like, why won't they walk away? I don't know. Gronk did it. He had to go get his body right. He did walk away.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're going to tell. Listen, they're competitive. They're having, like, Bruce Arians is having fun at 68. Like, I get it. But he also likes to play golf, man. He just did it. Like, he has a Lombardi trophy. And I just can't fully grasp why he comes back, why Brady continually comes back. And why wouldn't he just walk away after 10 Super Bowls and this record that nobody's going to – like, I don't know what else other than that inner drive, and I get that's there.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me, okay? It's very hard for me to describe because we're not like – well, you might be. I'm not like that. Like, I can't be like that. That's not the natural thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I always say this. I think I'm competitive. I like to try hard. I like to win. I like all those things. There's a lot of things to accomplish. And as I get a little older, I understand because, like, whether it's my parents or other folks I know, retiring is hard.
Yeah,
Even people that say they want to retire at 55, 60, they don't. They're still working at 67. They go back to work at 70. Yeah. So I get all that. But I still don't get why they come back. Like, why not just walk away if you're Gronk, Brady, and Arians? Why are they coming back?
You ever see the movie Troy with Brad Pitt? No. You remember that one? All right. So Brad Pitt plays Achilles, right? And in one of the very first scenes of the movie, they're going to attack. I forgot what the city even was. But basically what they go, like, Achilles gets there and he's like, dude, you don't want any piece of this guy. This guy's huge, Achilles. Like, he's going to beat you. And Achilles looks down at the guy who's, like, beaten and battered from war. He's like, and that's why no one's going to remember your name right there. That's why no one will ever remember your name. It's that kind of attitude. When you win the Super Bowl, like, yes, you're engraved in the history for the rest of your life. You're a Super Bowl champion. You have the ring to prove it. I mean, if you get pulled over by the cops doing 100, like, guess what? Hey, Super Bowl ring. Yeah. We'll see you later.
Can I take
Thanks
a picture?
For the freebie. Exactly. Like that comes with something. But at the same time, like, I think back to 17, and I think back to the Eagles a little bit. Like, the Eagles, to me, right now, where they sit, and with all due respect to them, what they accomplished, but they're starting to seem like an afterthought now. Right? Because Doug Peterson's gone. Carson Wentz maybe getting traded. We'll talk about that later. But I just feel like in the next 5 or 6 years, the Eagles will be a trivia question. That's it.
Yeah,
like, we're not going to even respect them really anymore. And I feel like with what the Buccaneers accomplished this year, and keep in mind, it was during a time of a pandemic where football wasn't the same, right? Everything is different this year. They didn't have any kind of real, like, preseason, and you saw what Tampa Bay was able to do. Now, they start out the gates kind of rocky. Right? And I was the first one to say, I'm not buying into this team right now. I think, if I remember correctly, when we did like our predictions, I think the most overrated team that I named was the Buccaneers.
Was it?
Yeah, that was my prediction. Well, I was wrong about that one.
They were through 12 games.
Yeah, but I was definitely wrong about that one. But it shows you just, listen, they got it together. They won the championship, if you will. So why wouldn't you want to do it again? Because now you have some chemistry. And let's be honest, Brent, and we'll talk about the free agents coming up here on the Buccaneers. It's not going to be the same.
No way.
Like the roster that you saw last night, there's going to be some holes.
Yeah.
That's the NFL. But if you keep your core pieces in place, the Tom Brady's, if you keep Gronk maybe for another year, if they can bring back somehow Godwin or AB, you got a good shot in my opinion. So why not do it again?
Yeah, I guess we think of the other, maybe me, again, I don't know if this is just me or if this is a lot of people. I really don't. I just think of the storylines. I guess I'm just that sucker for a story where people always bring up, say, like the Willie Mays stuff. And even Peyton Manning, he won going out, which was glorious for him, despite the fact that he could hardly throw it 8 yards.
Correct.
That was like the ultimate, like, tug of war.
Yeah.
Because he does end up winning. But he also looked kind of weak in doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the greatness of Brady, do you ever want to look weak? Like, do you ever want to fade? Well, you have a chance to not. I mean, you just won number 7. Why even welcome that? Because we do know this. Mm-hmm. When it goes for athletes, it goes.
No,
and it goes
you're not
fast.
lying.
And like Gronk, like I said, 2 years ago, I don't know, Gronk could hardly walk off the field, it felt like.
Yeah.
And now he's replenished a little bit, and he got that year rest, and he does look better, but he still looks old, and it could go quickly, Mm-hmm. So... and then the Arians thing's just different. I mean, I feel like he just reached a pinnacle, and I guess just these coaches just don't want to ever go away. I mean, and I understand the fun part, by the way. I understand the camaraderie. You like the team.
Yeah.
You know, like there is that element. I'm not saying I would walk away if I was in the spot, but looking on the outside, looking in, it's just hard to imagine, like, what else is there, man? What else is there, Tom Brady?
And you're bringing up a legitimate question. And to me, like, look at boxing or even MMA. Guys always have that mentality, like, we want one more. We want one more. Even if that means sacrificing your perfect record, you want to do another one. And usually when that happens, they go out on their back. Right, and we're talking about a sport that has the highest of dire consequences, right?
Yeah.
Like getting knocked out, brain damage, all that stuff. And it's not sometimes about the money. Sometimes they're strapped up for cash. But 9 times out of 10, it's about, hey, because I can still do this. I got to have that feeling one more time. To me, Brady, like, I don't even know what. Listen, you're the GOAT. No one's gonna ever take that away from you, Tom Brady, right? Like what we're seeing right now, and this is the thing. Like, is it boring sometimes? You better believe it. Can we get some other guy in there one time and maybe see what happens? But at the same time, I know that I'm seeing history.
Yeah,
like
I
I'm knowing
appreciate
that my 5-year-old son has probably going to have zero recollection of what's been transpiring the past 5 years in terms of Tom Brady. But, like, dude, you missed out on that. And guess what? You won't get to experience what I got to experience with Tom Brady. And maybe Patrick Mahomes will have his time in the sun. But it probably won't be on Tom Brady's level. But at the end of the day, that's just the competitor, Brent. It's just it's the competitor. It's the nature of the beast. And I think Tom Brady is to the point now where it's just like, I want to see how far we can go. I want the wheels to come off and then go on some more. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Tom Brady. All right? Hey, I'm going to be honest with you, Tom Brady. Yes, you are the GOAT right now. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get you upgraded to premium GOAT, if you will. And if you want to be premium GOAT, here's what you do. You request a trade. Go to the New York Jets this next season and win a Super Bowl with the New York Jets. Let's see what you can do with that team.
Yeah,
that to me, premium GOAT.
I think of it in this context. Who should retire more? Brady, with what he's accomplished at the age of 43, or a guy like Alex Smith that he's just made it back?
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of people, in the context of Alex Smith, say, man, I want you to retire. Mm-hmm. What you've done is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Well, if you put it in the context of Brady in the same thing, well, then there's no way in hell Alex Smith is retiring. Yeah. Because those guys, they didn't want to just make it back. Sure, that was part of it. Can I make it back? Kind of like Tiger Woods, right? Can I make it back? Can I get there? He did, but he keeps going. Mm-hmm. And I think Alex Smith now, like if I look at Brady and their unwillingness to say goodbye to the game and the competitive spirit to be at the top of the game, it almost makes me wonder if Alex Smith now will not only he's not satisfied to come back and just play in a game and perform a little bit and make it to the postseason. He wants to almost get back at least to the level he was playing with Kansas City.
No, without a doubt.
In that year. And so now I wonder, again, I've always said that, I always acknowledge it. Those guys, you guys, the guys that play that game, it's a different level of competitive nature. It's a different level of drive. Like, it's one that us normal folk don't really relate to. I really believe it. But all of us would say, okay, we're fine retiring. I just do think mass population would say we're good.
No, and you're not wrong. And you know what? If I was in Tom Brady's situation, I mean, I'm not sure what I'd be feeling, but I'd be feeling pretty good right now, I'm not going to lie. But I don't know if I'd come back, because like you talk about Alex Smith and Tom Brady. These guys are both family men. All right,
that's true too.
These guys have families, and listen, I know how long a season can be drawn out. Now amplify that because you are at the quarterback position. Everyone is depending on you, so you're even more time away from your family, even more time away from your friends, stuff like that. And you, let's be honest, you miss out on a lot of those memories because you're trying to will your team to a Super Bowl. So there are some sacrifices that are made here. And once again, I mean, with Tom Brady, like he's literally spent, some of his kids, like their entire childhoods playing the game of football.
Oh, no doubt.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not calling Tom Brady a bad dad at all. I'm sure he's a fantastic father, and I'm sure he's always there as much as he can be. But to be as great as Tom Brady is, that takes time. That takes time away from your family and things like that.
Well, know what I say? I think you got to be selfish to do it. I mean, he's been able to balance it better than others, but you have to be extremely selfish to be that great. I mean, you just have to be. In fact, he said, I told nobody can come in the house for the last couple of weeks because he didn't want to with COVID. Right? I mean, that's a different level kind of thing. That makes sense to me, actually. Like, I would do the same. But you do. You have to be extremely selfish to take care of your body, to get yourself in the frame of mind. I will say this. You mentioned family. I actually believe the family is why they still do it, in a way. One, because of spending too much time with the family can get a little much. But two, I really believe. Did you see the scene in Green Bay after that game where he said, can my son come down?
Yeah, for sure.
Yesterday, the joy that he had seeing his kids out on the field, because they can now appreciate his greatness. They're at an age where they can. And Brady's a little bit different here because he's been pretty consistent in his greatness, although there was a 10-year window where he didn't win, I think from 05 to 15, but now 15, 17, 19, 21. They've seen enough. They might even be saying, Dad, I've seen enough, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I really put this in the context of Tiger. Like, I believe part of the motivation of Tiger coming back certainly was self-natured as well. Can I do this? But also because his kids didn't get to see the greatness.
Sure.
And his kids saw the scandalous and the injury side of Tiger, the downside, without seeing the upside. And I do believe one of the best parts from my perspective of him winning the Masters in 19 was his kids being able to see him in the just all the people that adored Tiger, right? And to celebrate Tiger, because we had years and years of that. The kids didn't.
Yeah.
And so to see their dad in that way after they'd seen him in a mugshot, you know, in the tabloids, all that, I feel really good for the kids to be able to see that side. I mean, I know how much I like watching Tiger Woods play.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being his kid and not being able to see that?
Yeah.
Other than YouTube and all that. So I do think there's an element of this, like that Tom Brady's probably having fun with the age his kids are at to be able to share some of these moments and memories and take them into the locker room when they can appreciate it, not just when they're 4 years old and you get a snapshot of it, but you don't remember it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's part of it.
I'll tell you what. Is there anything more intimidating though than being Tom Brady's kids? Because now like you're Tom Brady's son. What are you gonna do with your life, man? Like, Dad set the bar pretty high for me right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, and then we saw Tiger's kid has a swing that looks just as good. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's a tough spot.
Yeah.
But I do I appreciate the human nature of that. These guys are like larger than life figures, and that shows a human side of them. And I thought that was a good moment after the game with Brady and his family, just like I thought with Tiger a couple years ago. As well. Hey, I want to talk a little bit of Jags. We'll get back to the Super Bowl. Like, can the Bucs continue this run? What about the prop bets? What about halftime show? What about the commercials? All those things we'll get to. But Trevor Lawrence throw day coming up on Friday. What does it mean? What do we expect? A sneak peek, little preview at maybe what we might see coming up in a few days. It's next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The NFL season that no one thought would happen ended last night with history and Tom Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl. Here's Super Bowl 55 MVP Tom Brady on playing through a COVID-impacted season.
Yeah, we went through all of them, and, we dealt with them, tried to understand, the challenges that were going to be presented, and there was a lot of them, but there was no guys just did what we were asked, and we tried to just show up with a great attitude to work however it was. We were pretty fortunate on our team. Guys were really disciplined with all the protocols in place, and, we ended up getting the job done.
Even though Brady was the MVP, the defense stole the show, holding last year's champs to just 3 field goals and keeping pressure on Patrick Mahomes, allowing him just 270 passing yards and picking him off twice. This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hey, boss, how's it going?
How's it going? Oh, let me tell you how it's going. So far this year, I've broken my pinky toe, had a flat tire, and currently I'm trying to pass a kidney stone the size of Rhode Island.
Well, karma strikes again.
What?
Nothing. Oh, look, it's the first Crooks Are Us survey of 2021. They're asking crooks like us to list the top reasons we avoid safe touch houses.
Well, there's the crash and smash technology, the video monitoring.
Yeah, but what's number 1?
Gotta be the two-way communicator.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. The two-way communicator leads to verified alarms, which lead to faster response times, which are all very bad for us crooks.
Which all just circles back to the Crooks Are Us golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options.
You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Love is in the air.
And if you're celebrating yours, you can save thousands now through February 14th, Valentine's at Beard's Diamonds.
Hundreds of specially designed one-of-a-kind pieces have been sale priced at BeardsDiamonds.com.
Like a 6-carat diamond tennis bracelet, retail $10,465. Beard's special Valentine price, $6,802.
You save over $3,500.
Or 2-carat diamond solitaire earrings, retail $94.50. Beard's Valentine price, $61.42. You save over $3,200.
And just in time for Valentine's, how about a Circle of Love 1-carat diamond necklace? Retail $13.50. Beard's Diamonds price $877.
See hundreds more at BeardsDiamonds.com.
And if you're getting engaged this Valentine's, Beard's Diamonds has the largest selection of engagement rings and GIA certified loose diamonds at the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed.
And with every purchase between now and Valentine's, your loved one receives a free dinner at Fogo de Chao.
Find out more at the St. John's Town Center or at BeardsDiamonds.com.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the Golf Club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the Golf Club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Spay or neuter your pet. Help them live a longer, happy life. First Coast No More Homeless Pets has free and low-cost programs available now. Make your appointment today. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
Nearly 250,000 men and women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year.
Breast cancer is unacceptable. Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Hey, this is TV personality Eric Bowling with
NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre.
Get out. The NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre?
Yeah, it depends on if you want money or not, or if I owe you.
Well, okay, I'll take it. We're coming together for a new weekly podcast called Bowling with Favre. From sports to politics to finance, culture, nothing is off limits.
Sounds like a little bit of everything. Subscribe now on the Podcast One app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, liveby.live.com, and everywhere you get your favorite podcast.
See you then.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
He was amazing, and just did it all. Blocked, ran, just had an incredible season. We got him pretty late, and he just showed up big. It was amazing just how he performed in the biggest moments, and just so proud of him.
That's Tom Brady. Is he talking about Leonard Fournette?
Yep.
Does that count as a point? Probably. That's pretty impressive. Nicely done.
Fournette was sensational in the postseason. There's nothing else to say.
Good stuff.
He was terrific. I mean, the one drive where he capped it off in the third quarter, I mean, just a couple of runs, the energy he ran with, like the want to that he ran with, you could see it. When it shows up on the TV like that, he was trying to run over people, run away from people, and then he finished it off with a run. There's a guy outside our window.
How we doing right now, man? We all right?
Scaling the tower.
Oh, no way. I didn't see that dude.
What are we doing here? What's going on? I'm going to take a picture of this so everybody else can see.
That sounds like such a terrifying job.
This is like some Ocean's 12 stuff right here.
I probably should
he's marking the ladder.
Get my face out of the way of it.
I feel like you have to get his permission to take that picture. I don't even know.
I'm going to smile. He's taking a picture.
Is he taking a selfie?
What is he doing?
Oh, I don't know. I can't see it.
So he's basically, there's a tower outside of our window here at the station. And so it's just like a steel structure.
Yeah.
How far does that thing?
It's pretty high.
Yeah, it goes up pretty high. And we're 2 stories up in the building.
And we're
so
not
now
even
he's
close to
this guy's an influencer. He's taking selfies. Is he doing any work right now?
There's no way we're letting influencers climb on our tower.
I hope he's taking a selfie right now because we'd be right behind.
He's taking, let me get the mix. He's taking selfies.
He's not taking selfies with that camera.
What is he doing then?
I have no
What
idea
is he
what
doing,
he's doing.
Brent? What is this guy doing right now
I
on
have
the
no
structure?
idea what he's doing. This is awful radio, but I'm more intrigued at what this guy's doing. I apologize.
There seems to be an accomplice. He's talking to somebody below him. 1 second. Okay, yep. There's
somebody down there.
There's another gentleman rocking a polo shirt and a helmet.
Usually, see, you don't want to park too close to this structure because the birds will sit there and drop bombs on it, on your car.
For sure.
But I have never seen this before.
Coos, get out there and see what's going on here.
Should we scare the what out of him? Just knock on the window like crazy?
I'm not going to be responsible for that. And if you do that, I'm going to get out of the building, man.
He's got a harness.
I don't want to be accomplice to that.
Hey,
what I've always wondered with those, this is so off the rails, but you know how because it takes hours to climb those towers because they have the clip, right?
Yeah.
The whole way up. What if you got halfway and had to go to the bathroom?
You go in your pants.
Yeah,
well,
you got to risk it for the biscuit.
You do what everybody else does on that tower. You just go.
This guy is scaling now, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is absolutely scaling.
He just hit the whatever button on the video game that makes you accelerate.
It's called the R2 turbo button right now.
Okay.
Okay.
How
can I talk about football when this is going on outside,
Should I move
Brent?
Austin's
I'm
camera
distracted.
to be on the guy?
We could take a live look.
I'll see if I can move it.
You can't see it anymore.
You
He's
must
way
have
up
closed
there.
that window, man. That's crazy. Okay.
All right. That was a distraction. Sorry, folks. Trevor Lawrence will throw later in the week.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that?
Is it televised?
You know, here's the thing. We're trying to get there, first of all.
You go there?
Well, we're trying to.
Okay.
But between COVID restrictions and I think they usually don't care about the little guy in these moments.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably open it. I bet it's on ESPN and ACC Network because that's a Clemson tie.
I like that.
And so I don't know if we're going to go or not. We're still trying to figure that out if we're going to be allowed to and what we do with it. But bottom line is, are you excited?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now, I'm going to keep it within reason a little bit. I think I was more excited for the national championship game. Or I'm sorry, not the national championship, but the semifinal. Correction. Than just watching him throw on air to, I don't know, maybe his former college teammates. Or
there'll be some receivers there.
Yeah, whoever those receivers are. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I hope the Jaguars are savvy enough to send him some Jaguars, workout clothes, some gear, can kind of set the tempo a little bit. That's what I would do if I was the equipment staff. So, I mean, I'm going to watch it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so here's the deal. He'll have word is Amari Rodgers and those kind of receivers will be there. The Jags will be there. I know they're a team. The question is, how many teams need to be there?
No, just the Jaguars. Hey,
it won't
New
be
York.
just the Jags.
Hey, New York, with COVID and everything, let's go ahead and let's be smart about the pandemic here. You don't want to quarantine yourselves. No need to make that trip.
How awesome
Stay
would
where
it
you're
be?
at.
Seriously, how awesome would it be if just the Jags showed up?
That'd be awesome. Wait, so you're actually going to go to this then?
Well, we're not sure. I don't know what we're going to be allowed to do. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Help me decide.
Yes.
If we're not allowed to go in there and see the actual workout, is it still worth me going for TV to stand outside the stadium and say this is what just happened today? Because that's a TV thing. We want to be there where the stuff's happening.
Yeah.
We might do that.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I could care less about that with all due respect to you. But what I care about is representing the Jacksonville brand. Okay, now let's be honest here. We know that New York's going to be there. Okay, because right now the hot topic, but Trevor Lawrence has a torn labrum. We might be falling to us now. Making Trevor. Come on, everybody, just relax. So Brent, I need you to go there to represent in case things go down. Do you want me to come there as well? That's the real question. Because listen, if you go there without me, I got to show you some stuff. Okay, I got to show you some MMA moves, some cheap shot tactics, if you will. But we got to get this out of the way right now because I'm not going to have you go there and get embarrassed and embarrass our city.
Well, come on along for the ride. It's just a 6-hour trek.
Oh, we're not flying there? Excuse me?
Sounds like a former athlete. Eh?
We're not flying
Sounds
there?
like a former NFL guy.
We're not flying there? Yeah, then you could go on FaceTime me if something goes down.
You can Rocky this and run behind the car. Get ready for your next fight.
Do you want me to run behind the car or run in front of the car? You just push me the whole time. One of those two.
You are seeing live video of a man outside our window on a tower.
Influencer.
We have no idea what he's doing.
What's his handle? Let's find it out. Yeah, what is he doing, though, honestly?
I'm sure it's just.
I'm sure it's like a maintenance.
Things are okay.
They go
Maintenance.
check, make sure everything's
He's
good.
checking the maintenance of the ladder?
I'm sure.
Well, that's how we broadcast. There's a ton of wires going on.
I'm
that
sure
thing.
we'll probably get in trouble for broadcasting this live.
Hey, don't say we. Coos. That was Coos' idea.
Coos' idea.
Coos' idea. Yep. That's Justin Cousart at Twitter.
Quickly that turn.
Justin Cousart at Twitter.
Whatever.
I love how we just hand out anybody's handle.
Oh, I'm snitching all day. I'm not getting time for this.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from a competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hey, do you owe more than $25,000 on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
So you walk into your favorite store, go to the razor section, and it hits you. So many options. How do you choose? 8-blade, 10-blade, or 50-blade razor that requires 2 hands to operate? Dollar Shave Club, which is now at a store near you, has got your back.
They have a premium 6-blade cartridge designed for daily shavers with short hair and a 4-blade cartridge for less frequent shavers with longer hair. The blades are spaced out a little more for easy rinsing, because more blades isn't always better.
Are you still confused? Well, I told you Dollar Shave Club's got you, and they do. DSC put both cartridges in one new starter box, so you can test drive both. You might even like both. You might have to shave your face every day, or your head every few days, or maybe once a week you have to shave your shoulders. before your girlfriend starts calling you a bear.
For more info, visit dollarshaveclub.com/gojo. Again, that's dollarshaveclub.com/gojo. And check out DSC at your nearest store. You got questions, we got answers. Welcome to the club.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Use your speed and athleticism to get to the ball with bad intentions. The ability to plaster. Plastering is on the backside when Mahomes breaks the pocket, and all of the guys are making sure that they have a man in that situation.
Mahomes said today the loss in Super Bowl 55 will motivate him not only next season, but for the remainder of his career. NBA Lakers big man Anthony Davis out tonight versus the Thunder with tendinosis in his right Achilles tendon. Forward Lauri Markkanen, the latest Bulls front court player, sidelined by injury. He's out 2 to 4 weeks with a sprained shoulder.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
You already talked about wanting to bring a lot of your guys back. What is your future here? Is there any chance that you might decide to retire after winning a Super Bowl? Will you be back with the Bucs next year?
Hell no, I ain't going anywhere. I'm coming back, try to get 2. And then we'll see after that. But no, this football team, I love these guys. And we have a great staff, great team. Hopefully Jason and I can get together and keep most of them and try to repeat.
That is Bruce Arians. Good for Bruce Arians. I don't know Bruce Arians, but I've just heard a lot of great stories about him. And I think he's seems like a good dude, kind of straightforward. Doesn't get the politically correct stuff, doesn't go anywhere with Bruce Arians. I kind of like that. I get why a lot of other folks have to be politically correct. I understand it in our business. But I really appreciate a guy who's so straightforward like Arians. And he's really a good coach. You know, I think that's the one thing that will be, you know, and it always is, by the way, in the Brady and Gronk and even the defense in the player side of things. You know, the story going in this game was just how versatile this coaching staff was, right? How diverse this coaching staff was.
Yeah.
Well, the job that they did, if you just take that game at the end of November and this game, that is a massive turnaround. Listen, it's hard to beat teams twice in a row, all that stuff, the cliches. But to do what they did, that kind of flip, because it goes two ways, right? It's like, let's just say you're betting on the game. Mm-hmm. And Tyreek Hill goes for 200 in the first quarter. Well, you know he's not going to get 200 again.
Yeah.
But you might easily say, well, listen, if he got 200 in one quarter, he's probably going to get 100.
I wouldn't have taken 90, actually, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I know. I hear
Last
you.
night? Maybe.
But I think even the Bucs would have said that. That's my point, right?
Yeah,
I mean, nobody saw that coming.
No.
And, you know, Kelsey ends up with over 100, but it's a quiet over 100. Patrick Mahomes.
It's true.
Patrick Mahomes didn't have 100 yards passing, Austin Lane, until there was about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah.
100 yards passing. Does it on the first drive, and the field's only 100 yards.
Listen, for sure.
Like, that's impossible, by the way.
No, I remember because, the reason I was taken back because I quoted that one time way back in the day. It was the Kyler Murray versus Daniel Jones, the quarterback grades. And I said that about, I think, Daniel Jones rushing yards because Daniel Jones had like 103 or whatever. And I'm like, Kyler Murray gets that in one, in one. Yeah. I can't say this enough about coaching and what makes great coaches so great. And Todd Bowles right now is a prime example of this, Brent. I just mentioned, this guy is known, his identity as a defensive coach is blitzing, okay? He did it the entire season. Like I said, the percentage is right on 40% I looked up today. If you go back to that Green Bay game, playing against Aaron Rodgers, MVP Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field, and even Aaron Rodgers alluded to this after that game when they got beat. Rodgers said that he thought they were going to blitz a lot more. He was surprised that they actually dropped back into coverage in cover 2 and cover 4. Bowles is known for blitzing. And in that Packers game and in that Chiefs game, he shied away from it. Now, once again, I can't stress this enough. It helps when you have beat-up offensive linemen and, you can send 4 and you have success right away. If you have success with 4, it's like, well, what do I need to blitz for? But at the end of the day, it's a testament to, listen, this is a guy who adapted. This is a guy who said, okay, 4 is getting home. Let's keep sending 4. Even though maybe it's not what I believe in and it's not what I was coached to do, if it's going to work, it's going to work. So, I can't give enough props to Todd Bowles. And listen, that kind of performance right there, Brent, and we'll see down the line. Obviously, Byron Leftwich, too, we mentioned a little bit. We got to be talking head coaching candidates in the next couple of years or so, if not next year.
Yeah, and listen, people bring up the points like, hey, if they didn't do the hiring process after the Super Bowl, Bowles would have a job, right?
Yeah.
Probably would. I guess. But listen, I do think, too, some people are just better in defensive coordinator jobs, or they'll make great head coaches. I don't know if that's the case with Bowles. I'm just saying it's just not a blanket statement, okay? The guy has one. The recency bias is huge.
Yeah.
When it comes, I still think Eric Bieniemy can be a good head coach.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not, and he didn't have a good day. Okay, so he should have run the ball more. They should have run the ball more. Is that on Bieniemy? Is that on Reed? I don't know. They didn't have a good day. I still think he's good. That's my
point.
Can the Bucs do it again? They're going to have Brady come back, Gronk come back. Antonio Brown, I think they'll find a way for him to come back because I don't even think Antonio Brown will chase the money. I think he just likes being around Brady now.
Yep.
And it's almost like they've had this – it's almost like that's the only fit for Brown because whether it's from a babysitting standpoint or just he's a good mentor for him and he's in a better place with him, I think that's important for Antonio Brown is to be around Tom Brady, whatever the price tag. Chris Godwin, though, is not going to be back, I don't think, right? Levante David. They've got those are two huge. Shaq Barrett. I give you those 3 guys.
Yeah.
They're not going to get all 3 of those guys back.
No. So, listen, absolutely not. And granted, if they want to take pay cuts or not, that's great. That's a great story. But they aren't bringing everybody back. And you only get 1 franchise tag. So you start asking the question, like, well, who can you afford to let go? I think if the Jaguars had Shaq Barrett, I'd be over the moon about it. I don't see that happening.
Would you?
I think Tampa Bay's going to keep Shaq Barrett.
Do you?
I think they're going to franchise tag him, even more than Chris Godwin. I think with Chris Godwin,
didn't they just franchise tag him?
Shaq Barrett,
or was that the end of a contract?
That might have been. I think they might have just franchise tagged him. Yeah. You can do it again, can't you? Obviously,
you can.
it's a bigger fee.
It's a hefty
price.
Yeah,
maybe. With Chris Godwin, I feel like if you re-sign Antonio Brown. And you get him in that kind of that 1A, 1B role with Mike Evans. I don't want to call Chris Godwin expendable because I want him to come to Jacksonville. But I think what they have, I think they have Tyler Johnson on another year. I think they got that Scotty Miller. I think there's ways around it where they can still have some success without Chris Godwin.
Yeah, by the way, it was a franchise tag for Barrett. I thought so, which makes it unlikely that they'll do that again. So
maybe
either
a
stays
new contract.
there or he doesn't.
I guess do they franchise tag Godwin then?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, look at all these guys. Here's the names, okay?
Vontae David, yeah.
David's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put David and people be like, David who? But,
sure.
Levante David,
yeah.
Chris Godwin, Shaq Barrett, Gronkowski. He's going to end up back there because I don't think he'll play anywhere else. And he has that luxury, and it'll be cheap. And Ndamukong Suh.
Sure.
Fournette. I don't think they're going to re-sign Fournette. I think they're going to appreciate what they got out of Fournette, but I don't think they're going to re-sign.
But here's the thing. Do you think Fournette can take a pay cut and says, I want to come back?
He could do that, but I don't think Fournette's going to do that. I think Fournette's going to chase the money.
But how much money is he really going to get, though?
Well, price just went up a little bit.
Okay,
he just earned himself some money in the postseason.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Teams out there right now, do you think teams would bring him in as the bona fide starting running back, or do you think that it would be like a second or third down back?
No, I think it's a bona fide
back. Okay,
he established himself on the world champs as he unseated Ronald Jones.
He did.
I understand Jones had some injuries, but he performed better than Jones in the second half of the year.
No, listen, I'm not taking anything away from Leonard Fournette. I'm just trying to visualize a team that would be like, all right, we want Leonard Fournette to be our featured back going into the next season. I don't know. But go on.
Listen, I still think, here's the thing on Fournette for me is that I still believe he was better than people want to admit. People around here didn't like Fournette from a running style standpoint because he was picked 4th overall. It's not because of his lack of production. His rookie year, he was very good. His third year, which would be last year, not this past season, but the last year, I think he was very good. He caught like 80 passes.
Yeah.
You know?
And to be fair, that offense, I mean, he was getting hit in the backfield how many times?
He was the focal point both times, by the way, in both of those years. Now, listen, 2018 was not a good year for him. Missed a ton of games, injuries, all this stuff. There was a lot of issues behind the scenes and things that just didn't add up for Fournette. But I'm telling you, production on the field-wise, if I'm his agent, I've got this Super Bowl, this postseason, my rookie year, and last year. That's pretty damn good now. I feel pretty good about my chances to be the starting guy somewhere with a pretty decent paycheck if I'm Leonard Fournette.
Right.
I do. I mean, I will see. I understand. Listen, running backs are a little, wave that yellow flag, not just Fournette, but running backs in general in terms of paying them.
Yes.
But I think he makes definitely more money than I thought he would have made 2 months ago. And I think he's a primary back somewhere, and I don't think it's going to be Tampa. So will the Bucs keep any of these guys? Who would they prioritize? If you could pick one or two, Barrett, Fournette, Godwin, Sue, Brown, David, Gronk. Will the Bucs keep them? And if you're the Jags with a ton of money, do you prioritize one or two of their guys that are available off the Super Bowl champs?
Yeah. So if I'm the Buccaneers, how many can I actually prioritize?
I think two.
Okay.
Okay. For both, I want the Bucs side of things, but I also want the Jags side of things.
Yeah. Okay. If I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and I can, I guess, kind of lock in two of those guys, go ahead and you have to give me Shaq Barrett. Because once again, I think Shaq Barrett is the real deal, and probably Levante David. And I get it. I'm not helping out Brady whatsoever. I'm biased on the defensive side of the ball, but I feel like those two guys have the most to bring, set aside from Godwin. But once again, I feel like Godwin can be, he can't be replaced per se, but you can throw guys in his position to be successful as well.
By the way, Blaine Gabbert's free agent too.
Oh, my bad. And Blaine Gabbert too. On the low.
So you say Barrett and you say
now from Jacksonville's perspective.
Who do you say, Barrett and who?
David.
Wow, that's interesting because again, I don't know if Gronk and Brown should be in this conversation. I don't think those are high priority price tag guys. Like, I think they'll be able to kind of get sweetheart deals.
And that's kind of what I assumed.
So we'll assume that. And by the way, the Jags aren't interested in Gronk or Antonio Brown. Right?
No, you were a couple years ago.
I was a couple years ago, but not at this stage, especially with Chris Godwin available.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So I just think the Brown fit in Tampa is going to remain that way. So really what it comes down to for the Jags is, are you interested in guys like Barrett, Godwin?
Yes.
Those would be top of mind. I don't think Levante David. I don't see them going to spend money on a linebacker when you got Schobert, who you already spent money on, and Miles Jack playing at this level. I really think it's just two guys that you're going off that Super Bowl team, Godwin and Barrett, and you risk really overpaying both guys.
For sure. Yeah, that is kind of the problem. Now, listen, the fact that there's some other receivers out there, like, I'm not sure what the market for receivers is going to be like because it is kind of deep. You have Golladay, you have Marvin Jones,
you have Allen.
You have Allen, you got Juju Smith-Schuster. So, like, I'm not sure like where Godwin falls in the realms of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I think if the price is fair, you obviously pursue Godwin because once again, I mean, a guy that can take the top off. I think we haven't seen that in Jacksonville in a long time. So let's go ahead and get that. But I mean, obviously Shaq Barrett, and now it's no knock on Caleb on Chason because we don't know yet, Brent, right? And we still need to invest some time to see what he can bring to the table. But you know how I feel about depth in terms of defensive line, or if a 3-4 defense, outside linebacker. I want as many pass rushers as possible, and Shaq Barrett is definitely a pass rusher.
Why do I feel like Shaq Barrett comes with like this red flag, man? I know he was big yesterday, okay? Well, he has 3 sacks for Denver as a 26-year-old in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
He has 19 and a half sacks.
Oh, I'm gonna faint.
In 2019. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Cha-ching.
So they franchise tag him because even they're not necessarily like, all right, this is like
not
2 years. I was like, oh, man, I don't know. Should we just go throw, all this money at a guy who's done it for 1 year? And then he comes back this year off 19.5, and I'm sure he got a lot more attention. Mm-hmm. And they had a stud defensive line with Jason. They spread it out a little bit more with the signings of Pierre-Paul and all that.
Sure.
But he ends up with 8 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an 8-sack guy. That's getting into like, okay, is he on an 8.5-sack guy? Are we going to give $100 million to a Shaq Barrett type to deliver like Frank Clark and those kind of guys have delivered? Because quite frankly, they have since they signed those deals.
No, of course. I mean, we've talked about this actually last week where, in terms of Frank Clark and those guys, it hasn't been a good investment, let's just say, to say the least. Now, with that being said, though, like, how do you feel about Bud Dupree? What would you and take the knee injury out of it real quick?
Yeah, I know
But what would you rather want? A healthy Bud Dupree, and I'm not sure what his numbers were even this year.
I'm going to tell you.
But would you take Bud Dupree or would you take Shaq Barrett?
Well, first of all, I think Dupree would cost you less, I believe, because I do think that the Super Bowl now and the 19.5 sacks for Barrett raised his price tag up a little bit. For Bud Dupree, let me go down here real quick and find out just to make sure I got it figured out. Where are sacks? There he is. 5.5, 11.5, 8. See, I think he will be a more moderate price tag. And by the way, I'll also say this. Bud Dupree in a 3-4.
Yes.
Doesn't he fit better than Shaq Barrett?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Shaq Barrett's a pass rusher.
He'll be fine.
I think he'll be fine in that situation.
But Bud Dupree is a 3-4 guy.
But he comes from that, correct.
So if Bud Dupree was healthy, and I can tell you this, I knew they were doing some work for free agency with the old regime on Bud Dupree is what I heard.
Yeah.
But then he gets hurt. And now what? And now this is a new regime. So now what?
Well,
I don't
for
know.
sure. But also with Shaq Barrett, keep in mind, I mean, it's like a 3-4 defense in Tampa too with Bowles. I mean, he's stood up. He's considered an outside linebacker.
Okay.
So it's kind of the same thing.
So that's probably here nor there.
Yeah.
The bottom line for me is I think he'd be more of a moderate price tag, Dupree, for maybe just as much upside. And do remember this now. Well, actually, they're about the same age. I think Barrett might be about a year older. He got just that later start.
Yeah. But now
it blossomed.
It begs the question, though, obviously, too, with the knee injury now.
Well, now I stay away from Bud Dupree. I'm not going to give a guy.
Take a risk.
I'm not giving a guy coming off an ACL.
Yeah.
$80 million. I just can't do it. I have a hard time doing that. And
it's the Aaron Campman effect.
Well, it's not only that, but now that's a little. Watch out, Brent. You know, Jags did this before where they didn't give Allen Robinson, and Robinson came back from the ACL just fine.
True.
The problem with ACLs is the first half of that next year, you have to be willing to swallow because it takes guys a little bit to come back, and you have to be patient. And so, listen, you're making a 3 or 4 year investment in a guy like Bud Dupree, then maybe you're okay with that. But you also got to be willing. Now, ACL, we know this. Guys come back from it, and they're fine. But it does take a little bit. So if you sign a guy, you sign him with, listen, we know we got to be a little patient in the early part of 2021, and then hopefully he turns it on. And are you willing to do that, I guess? And it's hard to go buy a big Christmas present and not be able to use it on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? And say,
for sure.
hey, let's use this in 3 months. Yeah. Hey, those Christmas presents go over well.
You're not lying.
Should have got me that for my birthday.
What about a guy like Ndamukong Suh?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, listen. Now, I'll throw some stuff at you. Obviously, on the back nine of his career.
Yeah.
Right?
You like Suh, by the way. You were teammates with Suh.
I do like Suh a lot. But I'm just saying in terms of productivity of what he was able to do this year, like, I mean, I think I'm not sure, once again, what the stats say here, but I assume that he had one of his better seasons.
I think he did. Because here's the deal, and you know this as well. I think you know this. Here's my perception of Suh.
Yeah.
Suh turns it on when he wants to. Right?
No,
he's a guy that's
he has
like
to be motivated. He had 6 sacks this year.
Let me ask you this. That's a great
34
player.
years old.
Yeah, see, to me, that doesn't make sense in Jacksonville. And here's where I also don't think it makes a lot of sense. Suh, a guy who kind of, or at least, again, this is the way I would label him, whether it's right or wrong, feels like he is awesome when he wants to be, and at other times won't be. Although you hear a lot of great teammate stuff, by yourself included, that maybe even gets a bad rap on things.
He does.
But the bottom line is, I think that's a guy you could question whether he'll fit in with Urban Meyer. That is a guy, that's the kind of player that you wonder, okay, at 34 years old, kind of says, okay, I'll turn it on when we need to. That in the Urban Meyer mix, I would be like, okay, I'm not sure that's going to work.
And let's be honest, I think if you're in Suh's shoes right now, he's made his money. Remember, like, Miami gave him like that monumental,
made like a $100 million deal.
I mean, like, I feel like Ndamukong Suh now is in it for the Super Bowls, which more power to you, man.
Absolutely.
And let's be honest,
he can pick where he goes.
And let's be honest, I don't think right now Jacksonville will be on his radar.
I think he'd take a pay cut to go play next to Aaron Donald in L.A.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I do think he's that guy. To your point, I think that's the type of career, or he'd go to Baltimore and play with that front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, he was with L.A.
Well, he was there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, it's hard to remember that. But
L.A., Detroit, Miami, Tampa.
Yeah.
But I do think, I could see the Cowboys signing him.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So he feels like that. He's not your rebuild Jags guy.
Correct.
Right now at 34 years old. And to be honest with you, I don't think the Jags are interested in that guy. I don't think he would be, but I don't think the Jags are interested in a 34-year-old guy. We've said they have to be veteran guys, but you want veteran guys that are going to really make big impacts and also in the locker room. I just don't see Sue. Sure. He's never been really labeled as that guy.
No, and you're not wrong.
You know, if you still had 34-year-old Calais Campbell, make a lot of sense with a young football team. But I still think the Jags are going to skew if they bring in veteran guys. We're talking 29, 30, 31-year-old guys. Not talking 34-year-old guys would be my guess. So with that being said, we think the Bucs are going to lose some.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same.
Can they run it back? I mean, do you really think they're second? I think 7-1 odds to win again. Kansas City's the favorite right now. You know, the way too early prognostication. I think teams like the Rams. I think the Rams are like the fourth favorite. I can't remember who was third now, but the Bills. I think the Bills were. So
makes sense.
I'll give you those four teams. Okay, you got the Rams, you got the Bills, you got the Chiefs, and you got the Bucs. Where do you rank? You got to drop some dollars now on here. Okay. Where do you rank the Bucs out of those four teams in terms of confidence level to win it all in 2021?
Is Devin White still playing football?
Yeah, I would think so. Why not?
I don't know. I would rank number one overall, and maybe you can call me biased and I'm foolish, but give me Kansas City number one. I think Kansas City would be the top team.
Kansas City's number one.
Yes.
So where do the Bucs fall on that list?
Give me Tampa Bay at number two.
Really?
I think they're better. I think they're better than the Rams, and I think they're better than the Bills. I honestly do. Because listen, and I mean it's a hard question, but here's what I think. I think right now, like yes, Tampa Bay they can lose some guys. Every team loses some guys. But let's look at their young guys real quick. Let's see Tristan Wirfs. Who was probably the offensive lineman of the draft this past year. Let's take a look at Devin White, who is one of the best linebackers probably in the league right now. Like,
sensational.
That Vita Vea guy, who somehow miraculously came off of a broken ankle or a broken leg and played like 8 weeks later. Like, he's young. He's intriguing. They have a lot of young parts. Now, yes, you have Jason Pierre-Paul back 9 of his career. You had Ndamukong Suh back 9 of his career. But the young guys with Tampa Bay, I like what I see there as well. So I put Tampa Bay number 2.
Yeah, I don't. I put them at number 4.
Really?
Yeah.
You think the Rams are better?
I just think you have the defensive player of the year. I do think Stafford makes them a lot better than Goff makes them. I'm not saying I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl, but I think their defense is better, and now they just got an elevated offense, is my guess. I think losing the people that they're going to, even if they lose Barrett and Godwin alone, it changes the dynamic of their football team in Tampa. And I think they will age out eventually at these positions with some of them.
Yeah.
So I would play the odds and I'd put them fourth because the Bills have a lot more kind of core altogether to make a run. And Allen might just be the next big star at quarterback.
Listen, despite what Jenna Lane says to me about fantasy football advice, do you think O.J. Howard coming back next year, if he's healthy, makes a difference though as well?
It does make a difference, but I think we've asked a lot of ifs on O.J. Howard now in his career.
It's a great call.
Right?
Yeah, we have.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A mix of clouds and sun today. Highs in the mid-60s. Partly cloudy, milder tonight in the mid-50s, and partly cloudy and mild tomorrow. A few showers develop with a high of 73, and Wednesday will be partly cloudy, rather humid, and a few showers again, and in the mid-70s. With your First Alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now through Valentine's you can save thousands. Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from the competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
Appliances may work on your schedule, but they quit on theirs. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we'll get your appliances back up and running in no time at all. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have repaired more than 100,000 appliances over the past 35 years, servicing Jacksonville to St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor, plus a 100% satisfaction guarantee. When your appliances quit, we're ready to get started. For quality repair at a price that's fair, visit AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Do you know that there are 7 steps that can help to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild, even though they may have trouble controlling their anger or lack of focus or respect for others? Karate America takes pride in the tens of thousands of children they've impacted. Imagine your child or grandchild showing and earning respect, setting and achieving goals, and making good grades. Visit karateamerica.info to see if Karate America's leadership program is a good fit for your child.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, we appreciate it. But your boss has you working from home this week, so take us with you. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
Then I said, still looking for his 4th career sack.
Austin Lane.
I'm spending pretty much every single day with somebody for pretty much 2 years now that you know somebody. And they surprise you. I sit here before you right now, and I am surprised.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
2nd down, 20. 5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a brawl. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle of the 40. Arms in the air in a victory salute. He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man. And the players with hands on hips at the other end of the field are looking at him and shaking their head and saying, why, oh why, is this taking place in a Super Bowl?
And Kevin, if you're going to run that far, get into the end zone. Don't slide at the one. You got to score once you got on the field. Get into the end zone, my man.
Lord, now they're cuffing him. But pull up his drawers, whatever you do.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
Be a man.
Oh,
Kevin Harlan is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember tweeting this a few months ago, and I remember saying he might be the most underrated broadcaster of my lifetime. He is sensational. Mm-hmm. And I will say this, it's now as his career goes on and I watch him and I listen to him, and he's so good at so many different sports and at these kind of moments, because those are the difficult moments, right? Yeah. You're just not used. You don't expect that. That's the unexpected. And you're not calling a football play, but he turns it into a football play.
Yeah.
And I had the chance early in my time here in Jacksonville to do preseason games as a sideline reporter with Harlan doing the play-by-play.
Nice.
And he was and a super nice guy, and I'm kind of like a little eyes wide open at that time. I hadn't done that yet, like being preseason NFL games, and even though it was just local.
Keep
but
in
he was
mind,
awesome.
though, when you're on the sideline, you can hear him in your earpiece the whole time. Yeah, so you hear him talking and calling the game.
Yeah. And the Jags at the time, when we were the official station, we still are the official station on TV, and so they would bring in outside guys to do it. Now Brian Sexton will do the preseason games, and in the past, local guys have done the preseason games, but they must not want me to do it, because every time, like, we're the official station, they bring in somebody else. But they brought in
we're kind of the official enemy now. In case you didn't notice.
So Harlan, they bring him in, and so I think he did it for a year, and then Kevin Kugler did it as well, and he's on the national broadcast, and they both actually call, I think, for Westwood One, the NFL games, and both are really good, and both super nice guys. But Harlan has just, in my opinion, elevated himself, and we don't discuss him when we talk about these incredible broadcasters. People bring up Gus Johnson. I love Gus Johnson. I think he's fantastic. Obviously, Nance is Nance. Yeah. And what's so interesting to me is how that situation was handled on TV versus the radio. Yeah. Because on TV, first of all, I even thought Nance even stepped out of what he normally would say, and he actually was pretty funny about it. It's like, maybe they should sign him.
Yeah, right? That was good. That was
pretty good.
But you can kind of tell, like, they're like, all right, get this guy off the TV.
They
and, like,
don't
let's
want
go
to see it.
Yeah,
that's right.
They don't want to acknowledge it.
But on radio, it was like,
I know. It's classic.
It's like, bring it on. I want to see that once a game.
Exactly. No, and like, that's the way it should be. Right, because I mean, let's be okay. I get
remember they're league partners.
No,
and the NFL doesn't
I get the
want
standpoint. Like, you don't want to promote that type of behavior.
Yeah,
right. And you don't want to give fans the idea. But at the same time, and I think I speak for everybody watching that game last night, let's be honest, wasn't the most exciting game we've ever seen. The halftime show, we'll get into that later. Yeah. But with that being said, like, we wanted to see some entertainment.
Yeah.
We wanted to see that guy get tackled and, like a knee in the face a little bit. So that's what they should do. Show the guy at the end, show the guy getting elbowed and, like, kneed in the face a little bit to kind of deter us from wanting to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the big Schlegel tackle.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Jags' new strength coach at the Ohio State game. But, I think that has changed a little bit in terms of showing those folks, one, to discourage.
I know.
But two, I really think it goes all the way back to, like, Monica Seles. I think that's what it goes back to when she got stabbed in tennis. And I understand it's different, but even in tennis matches, they have streakers and stuff.
Yeah.
But when that guy came down and Monica Seles got stabbed, every time we see somebody on a field now since that moment, we think of, okay, what's going to happen here?
Worst case scenario.
In this day and age, what's going to happen? It's kind of like in this day and age. It could have happened 50 years ago. But I think that's why they really deter it, in my opinion. I don't know if that's the genesis of it, but I feel like it took on different meaning after that moment.
Well, I remember we talked about Hank Aaron a couple weeks ago. Remember when Hank Aaron hit the home run?
Absolutely.
Those people ran. We're like, oh, I mean, I wasn't obviously alive for that. I don't think, but no, I wasn't.
No,
but like, I remember watching like the video, like, oh, what's about to happen right here? I think people were like, oh, this isn't going to be good, but they just wanted to celebrate with Hank Aaron. Like, they weren't trying to do anything crazy. They just want to celebrate a piece of history. But I get it. We kind of live in a time where we think of the worst sometimes. So I see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, and I think that's why. I think that one's discouragement, but also I think even you see Brady. They had a tight shot of Brady as that was happening, and they blow the whistle, and he's kind of like, first of all, it's like the look on Brady is a little bit like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then secondly, I think the first thing that crosses players' minds are like, okay, what's this guy going to do? Right?
Yeah.
That's, like it or not, dramatic or not, I think it is kind of the world we live in. You just don't know what's about to happen.
Sure.
And fortunately, they're usually pretty innocent moments, just some knuckleheads. And so you said, actually, from a prop bet standpoint, did you say it was plus 750 for a streaker?
So it was plus 750. One website reported plus 1,200 for a streaker. Because, think about this as well. Plus 1,200, by the way.
Plus 1,200.
Plus
so
1,200.
Cruz is saying, and do you think this really happens? Do you think that guy bet on himself?
Had to, right? Why wouldn't you? I mean, who else?
Like, can you bet on yourself? Can you cash that in? Like with the better the
maybe
sites?
not even him, like family members or something. But like, I mean, how much is it? How much you go to jail? Obviously, you get arrested. So
Well,
at the end of the day,
you're
how
never
much?
Go to a game again.
No,
like that's done.
Right, but how much of a fine do you think it is? 2,000, maybe 3,000?
I bet it's a little bit more than that. Probably.
So say it's 5,000.
That's gonna be on your
but
record.
If you put down enough.
Do you get decent exposure for that, though? No,
seriously. Might, honestly.
No, because if that's the case, then you're talking about
is that more serious?
Indecent exposure?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, then you have to register for like a sex offender and all that stuff.
He'd go under that, even in that situation.
Man.
Remember?
That would be that's
was it the woman that did it the 1 year? That was like a whole thing. She was on a list and got.
So I mean, he wasn't naked though, so that's why I feel like it wouldn't be indecent exposure because he was rocking a pink.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, I guess that would be what you would call it.
I don't know what else you would call that. Yeah,
a bra,
a bra, and a swimsuit.
A swimsuit.
It was like he kind of looked like Borat. It was like the Borat thing, but pink.
It was a little
You've seen Borat.
It was like the old Andre the Giant wrestling uni.
Close, for sure. But it makes you wonder, like. Why would you put money?
I know. Would you? I mean, but I always say that. Like, did Eric Church doesn't need money, but did he throw a lot of money on the over on the anthem?
That's a good point.
I mean, how do you protect against that? Like, I don't know if they do. I don't know if they're allowed to.
Here's like what I was thinking because I remember I saw that prop. I was like, this is an interesting one. But I'm like, well,
which one? The streaker one?
Yeah, the streaker one. But I'm like, there's no way because number one, it's like half capacity. So like it's not that hard to monitor the entire crowd. And number two, it's 2021. I feel like security's never been more beefed up. So like I had a hard time believing they're gonna let somebody run on the field like that.
Nothing would have been more 2021 if that guy was running around the field and he had a mask on. Like I was really surprised he didn't, honestly.
All right. Speaking of, there were some I know we did that prop as the M&M. I saw the M&M commercial was second off the board, but no mask.
No masks. Called that one.
Did they do another? They didn't do another one.
No idea.
I've got to be honest with you. How locked in were you guys to commercials?
Very locked in.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember now, I haven't been home for Super Bowls very often.
Yeah.
But the neighbors, just right next door had an outdoor patio.
Sure.
And they had it on the big screen, their big screen.
Yeah.
And so I just popped over and watched it kind of from a distance, but I was not locked into commercials. It was
missing out, man.
I wasn't even missing them. So I saw like the first couple.
Yeah.
One was like a movie trailer. The first one. That was odd.
Yeah, that was old, it's called, right? Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan, which is disappointing me. You don't know M. Night Shyamalan, do you?
Yeah.
He, Sixth Sense.
Oh,
Bruce Willis?
Sixth Sense. Yeah.
The Village. Or The Village? Okay.
No.
Well, it's Sixth Sense
I
is
can
M. Night
stop there.
Shyamalan. Yeah, you're
Stop
all
there.
good.
We're all good.
Hey, park the car. You're good to go.
Sixth Sense is good.
You're good to go. Yes.
If it's anything like Sixth Sense, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I know. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But anyway, so M&M's I saw. Were they big winners? Like overall, I mean, commercials stink.
Bud Light,
they're going downhill. We know that.
I know. All right. Bud Light had a good one because it was like nostalgia. They brought like every one of like their big like campaign guys or whatever. So like Bud Light had a good one. You see the Bruce Springsteen one?
I didn't.
Jeep. Jeep had Bruce Springsteen, like bringing the world together, all that stuff, and it was great. It's the boss, Brent. Right?
Yeah.
Anytime the boss,
you can't lose with Bruce Springsteen.
But here's the thing. And I felt like he kind of lost with Bruce Springsteen because he's telling, we got to rise together, yada, yada, yada. Bruce is looking great. He's got a nice, like a sheepskin kind of coat on, probably real sheep. Well, he can afford it. I'm not saying, whatever.
PETA.
But, dude, here's the thing, though. The end of the commercial, and it was a great speech, but he's driving down the road in the middle of winter with the top down. Look at Bruce right now, rocking a winter coat, but the top's down, which makes me wonder, hey, Bruce Springsteen, put the top off of that Jeep one time, man. What are we doing right now?
Yeah,
it's the middle of winter, sir.
Hey, he's tough.
Is he, though? Or is he a little foolish? So that one kind of threw me for a spin. But no, there was, like, nothing really stood out to me, Brent, like, oh, this is a great commercial.
It just doesn't happen anymore.
Nah, man.
I actually thought the one that got shut down for some reason, did you see, like, the T-Mobile one? Or at least they kept pushing that it did? Maybe they never bought it and it was part of their campaign. Yeah. The whole Gronk and Brady one.
I didn't see that.
You never saw that one?
No.
I thought that was like the theme. Is like that was they were saying it was.
They were saying
like
it was banned, right?
They couldn't have a Super Bowl commercial, so they just said it was banned.
Which was probably a good campaign, but either way, it was a good spot.
All right. Now, I'm going to need you, because I guarantee you saw this, and I don't know how to feel about this thing. So this is before the game, and they kept, like, showing, like, little clips and saying, stay tuned for, the full trailer coming up. And I was like, okay, what's this going to be? The Vince Lombardi hologram. How did we feel about the Vince Lombardi hologram? Did you see the Vince Lombardi hologram? Unbelievable. You didn't see the Vince Lombardi hologram? It's what started the game.
How did you miss that?
It's what started the game.
Well, because I was, I almost missed the beginning of the game because I was catching Kaylee at a lesson.
Okay. So this, let me go and paint this picture real quick here. So like I said, they're teasing this entire pregame show. It's like, stay tuned for the full trailer. I'm like, okay. And you can't really tell anything about it. It's like a guy walking through a city, but it's all you can see. So right before, and I think this is after the coin toss, right? No, before the coin toss, after the anthem, Coos? Might have been?
It was either right before the anthem or right after.
Okay, so it was right along that time. And all of a sudden, it's like, all right, here's the commercial. It's like, all right, let's see what's happening here. And it's like this older gentleman walking through a town in the middle of winter. And like as he's walking, I'm like, this looks a lot like Green Bay. This is cool. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of like rustic, like old time stuff. Like, where are they going with this? And then all of a sudden, like halfway through, it's like a 3-minute thing here. Halfway through, I'm like, oh, that's Vince Lombardi. Weird. But it's like Vince Lombardi from his time and the current time now walking through the city of Green Bay, like, like one kid dropped the football.
That's kind of cool.
But then hang on, though. So it's like Vince Lombardi. It's a speech he's given. I got chills now because let's be honest.
You're fired up.
I mean, if you're a kid in Iola, Wisconsin, Vince Lombardi, it's part of your daily regimen, let's just say. Yeah. You're having cereal listening to Vince Lombardi
before English class.
Exactly. So like I had a lot of respect. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. Chills. 3 minutes into it, it's like, okay, the commercial's over. And then all of a sudden they pull, now we're live in Tampa Bay, and they pull out like this giant platform. And it's like, what are they doing here? And like, the crowd's kind of like, what's going on? And it was a hologram Vince Lombardi finishing up the speech. But like when I say hologram Vince Lombardi, I've seen better graphics on the new Call of Duty game than I did with Vince Lombardi last night.
Interesting.
And I didn't know what was going on, Brent.
That's the second time. Remember last year they did that in Miami. I think it was Miami where they had everything start outside. Remember the whole kids thing? And they ended up running in at the end. So it had the same kind of idea.
Yeah, but that was cool, though. I mean, I get with COVID, it's a little different. But yeah, check out hologram Vince Lombardi real quick. So I can show you a picture. That's J-Lo. I'm not sure why we're showing her right now. Hang on one second.
I'll look at it in the break.
Here.
Streaking Vince Lombardi.
I can arrest you for that. Don't spread that kind of slander, Stuart.
Don't tell a Green Bay guy that.
That's there's hologram Vince Lombardi just in the middle of the stadium giving the speech.
You thought they could have done better with the hologram.
Why even have it in the first place? Just my thought.
I think that was playing off that whole kids thing last year.
I know, but you've seen better graphics, though. Be honest. Yeah,
you have actually.
Yeah, that's what started the Super Bowl right there. Look at Patrick Mahomes. You don't know what's going on.
Vince looks like Sherlock Holmes. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you had a good weekend. What do you think about the weekend?
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The NFL season that no one thought would happen ended last night with history and Tom Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl. Here's Super Bowl 55 MVP Tom Brady on playing through a COVID-impacted season.
Yeah, we went through all of them, and we dealt with them, tried to understand, the challenges that were going to be presented, and there was a lot of them, but there was no guys just did what we were asked, and we tried to just show up with a great attitude to work however it was. We were pretty fortunate on our team. Guys were really disciplined with all the protocols in place, and, we ended up getting the job done.
Even though Brady was the MVP, the defense stole the show, holding last year's champs to just 3 field goals and keeping pressure on Patrick Mahomes, allowing him just 270 passing yards and picking him off twice. This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So, if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Don't forget to celebrate your love this Valentine's and save thousands at Beard's Diamonds.
Shop now through Valentine's at BeardsDiamonds.com and see hundreds of specially priced sweetheart deals.
Like a half-carat diamond solitaire necklace, retail $16.55. Beard's special Valentine's price, $10.75.
You save over $500.
Or half-carat diamond hard necklace, retail $900. Beard's Valentine price, $585.
And lots of diamond earrings to choose from, like a 1.5 carat pair, retail $49.99. Beard's Valentine price, $32.49. You save over $1,700.
See hundreds more at BeardsDiamonds.com.
And with every purchase between now and Valentine's, your loved one receives a free dinner at Fogo de Chao.
If you're celebrating an anniversary or getting engaged, Beards Diamonds has the largest selection of engagement rings and GIA-certified loose diamonds
at the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed.
Celebrate your love this Valentine's with these sweetheart deals
at the St. John's Town Center or at BeardsDiamonds.com.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed at Beards Diamonds.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Okay, we've got Rick here, a veteran in the league who's gone 0-2 the past Valentine's Days. Do you think he can pull off a win this year?
I always like an underdog, Bob, but I'm not sure about this guy.
He's passing aisle 3, picks up a bag of wings, he dodges the produce section.
But will he pick up the heart-shaped box?
Heading toward the candy aisle, he's picking up speed. Oh no, he chokes and heads straight to the checkout.
Unbelievable, this close to Valentine's Day.
Don't be a Rick. Make happy this Valentine's Day with a heart-shaped box of Russell Stover chocolate.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Doug Peterson, if you are losing by 11, I love aggression in coaches, but there is such a thing as situational football.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And now, watch exclusively on ESPN+.
We have a young group of guys. It's not all
when we kind of joined together, we knew it wasn't going to always be successful, and you weren't going to be able to win 1,000 championships in a row. We knew we were going to go through times like this and adversity, and I think the best thing about it is the guys that we have the leadership ability to be even better next year. And so, obviously, we didn't end the season the way we wanted to. We can learn from that. We can learn from the successes that we had during the season. And at the end of the day, we have to come into this next year with a blank slate and trying to find a way to get to the Super Bowl again.
Who was that, Kuz? Kuz with COVID?
Yeah, that was me.
Is that who that was?
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah. I like that, man.
Good.
I think we found a new character for you, Kuz.
As I tease the weekend, how was the weekend performance? It's without an E, right?
Correct.
No, just double
Well, there's
checking.
2 E's. There's not 3.
Yeah, not 3. How was the weekend performance at halftime?
Kuz, you want to start this off?
Boring.
Okay.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
My take on it is that I feel like if you're going to waste one on the pandemic year without a full house, you just throw that one out there.
Yeah.
Good.
Me personally, I enjoyed it. And I'll be honest with you, the olds were upset last night with me.
They were not happy.
I saw one comment on Twitter.
Yeah, the olds. And when
I always love when you get, because I got enough of those folks that I know, and I like them. But you get that 55-plus crowd, right? And they're like, if it's not the Bee Gees, they don't like anything.
No, for sure.
Or a Springsteen.
No,
I mean, it's got to
sure.
be one or the other.
For sure. Play the boss one more time. Give us the boss. No, I'm going to say this about The Weeknd. He's had a couple albums now. I was a really big fan of the first album when it came out. I think I was a senior in college. Loved it. It was kind of like the underground, new kind of thing. It was different. I enjoyed it. Now, granted, the past couple albums, it's become more poppy music, and that's not really my style. But I feel like The Weeknd, what's so cool about him is he's an entertainer, right? There's a story to tell. I don't really necessarily vibe with the music, but I do vibe with the music videos and the story that he's telling. For instance, a lot of those guys last night had bandages over their face.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, the olds, let's call them. The olds are like,
was
well.
that like the jockstrap quote?
The jockstrap group. No, there's a story behind that because Weeknd is putting out a character for the past year where he's just at every single award show, granted, most of them are done via Zoom now, but at every award show, he was wrapped up in bandages. And at first, people were like, is he getting plastic surgery? What's the deal with it? Well, he wanted to make a point of Hollywood is so vain where everyone wants to go out and get plastic surgery when you don't have to do that.
Okay.
So he mockingly, for his last music video that he put out, took off the bandages and it was this crazy plastic surgery.
Think
and everybody thought that
sexy Squidward from SpongeBob.
Exactly. It was super aggressive, and everybody thought it was actually real in the beginning. Why would he do that? He's so ugly. It was a joke.
Yeah.
So I look at The Weeknd.
It's a deep effort by him, by the way.
I know, right?
Well,
no, but he's always telling the story, and that's the cool thing. And I look at it kind of like David Bowie. David Bowie had some jams. He had some great music. But what made David Bowie appealing, at least to me, was also the storytelling. It was the fact that he was Ziggy Stardust. Ziggy Stardust was this complete alien dude that was the exact opposite of who David Bowie was. But people were enthralled with the performance and enthralled with the art. And I feel like that's what The Weeknd brings to the table as well.
Did you like it, Weber?
Are you happy, olds? I mentioned David Bowie.
Yeah,
that's good.
Go.
Yeah.
I still thought it was interesting, but I was looking at it from a TV perspective, the camera guy that he was swinging around inside that little phone booth. I'm like, oh, that poor camera guy.
Is that the GIF that's out now?
Yeah, that's the meme that all the kids are using these days.
And also, he was singing it live. So props to him for doing that as well.
Live. Yeah. And it was
here's the plastic surgery. Oh, wow. Yeah, people thought that was real.
It was wild to see an act by himself.
Yeah.
For that long. Solo act. You just get so used to these collaborative performances now.
I had heard that Kenny G was going to be in there. Didn't see Kenny G.
I was hearing Ariana Grande, Kuz. Is that accurate? I could have swore.
Well,
wasn't Ariana Grande supposed to be there?
There was the
betting, it matters, but
the betting favorites were Ariana Grande, Doja Cat, and Drake.
Yeah. My guess though is they didn't do that stuff because of COVID. They didn't want that.
I thought they weren't going to be on the field because of that.
Yeah, they were on the field,
and then they rolled onto the field later into it.
But I was just excited that I knew some more songs than I thought. I didn't even know I knew a song from The Weeknd. Yeah. So you'll like this though, okay?
Hit me with
I'm ready to tweet out. I'm ready to tweet.
Careful now.
Oh boy.
And I'm ready to tweet okay, I don't. Is the glove? Are the gloves there? Because he's afraid the mic's going to slip out of his hands. Is there something to the gloves? And so I check with a younger person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you check? Is this a glove thing? Is this normal? Or is there something to it? Why are the gloves
style,
there? And they're like, yeah, he wears the gloves all the time. I was like,
style.
delete tweet.
you imagine that, especially with you? Because let's be honest, you got a big following, man. I'll come with the right people and retweet that. All the Weekend fans come at you. What are his fans called, Coos? Does he have like a fan name?
The Weekenders.
Like the Weekenders. All of a sudden, the Weekenders come after you.
That's original.
I
mean, that's good.
Brent, careful, Brent.
I
talk bad about him.
I like the Weekend, but I didn't know if the gloves were. I was like, what are we doing here? It's in Tampa. Like, we're not in Minnesota. I was like,
well, that's like Adam Levine taking his shirt. Adam Levine took his shirt off back in Atlanta, and it was like 50 degrees outside. So,
COVID safe, though, so he didn't have to wash his hands every time.
Hey, Weber, don't go anywhere. Stick around.
I can do that.
We got Daytona week here, by the way. Roll from Super Bowl into the Super Bowl of racing. You have to say that at least 50 times this week. I just did once.
I've done it like 3 times.
We'll be back
this week.
with a little football at 5 as well. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Hey, boss, check this out. You're never home alone and you're never away from home with Safe Touch.
What now? Never home alone. Now that one I get. It's because of the two-way communicator.
Yep. Any emergency and you're talking with the operator in seconds.
Right. Never home alone. Yeah, but what about this never away from home thing?
See, with Safe Touch's smart home automation, you can control your house from anywhere.
What, is it that smartphone thingy again?
Yeah, with the Safe Touch app, you can check your camera feeds, turn on the lights, drop the AC down, lock the doors. Boss, it's like you're there.
Never away from home. Never home alone, never away from home. This changes nothing. I still hate Safe Touch, and we still gotta stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. I need an aspirin.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Shopping pre-owned? Then go see our friends at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, where over 400 like-new pre-owned vehicles are on the lot waiting for you. Worried about your credit? Arlington's got you covered with their Credit for Everyone program. If your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, almost everyone is approved. And with Arlington's 30-day exchange policy, you get 30 days to love it or exchange it for total buying confidence. Get everything you want and more, and come see the brand new facility at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
This week at Macy's, use your coupon or Macy's card and get an extra 20% off just in time for Valentine's Day. Save on top of already great deals, like 35 to 55% off dazzling diamonds, gemstones, and more. And sleek handbags and wallets from Kipling, Nine West, Inc., and more designers, now 25% off. Plus, Star Money bonus days are going on now. Learn more at Macy's.com/StarMoney. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, the party rolls on for Tampa Bay for the Buccaneers' 31-9 rout of the Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. 7-time Super Bowl champion and 5-time Super Bowl MVP quarterback Tom Brady today credited Tampa's defense, especially the D-line, in shutting down Kansas City's potent offense and playing a pivotal role in the win. Defensive coordinator Todd Bowles could not have scripted his game plan any better, says ESPN's Ryan Clark.
Todd Bowles found ways to pressure the quarterback, whether he brought the blitz, which he only had to do 10% of the time, or he rushed with 4. The thing they did was keep everything in front of them and make Patrick Mahomes earn it. He not only had to earn it, he had to read it in his drop. And when Shaq Barrett and JPP were getting after Patrick Mahomes, it wasn't a lot of time to read, it wasn't a lot of time to look, it wasn't a lot of time to drop.
The Vikings promoted Clint Kubiak to offensive coordinator. He was Minnesota's QB coach the last 2 seasons. The 33-year-old succeeds his father Gary, who retired last month. NBA Lakers center Anthony Davis will miss tonight's game against OKC with tendinosis of his right ankle.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Travis, were you surprised at how many penalties were called against your team versus last year where it seemed like they just let you play?
I'm not going to get into the penalties. We got to play the game by the rules and just be better. No excuses.
I didn't hear who that was.
Nobody was listening during the bite. Enthralling
I'm
conversation.
gonna guess. No excuses. It was Travis Kelce.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Look at me, I'm on a roll.
It's unbelievable. Well, you heard no excuses. I didn't hear anything at all, so it doesn't really count.
Listen,
but
you can hear.
I just heard a woman's voice. Was that the question being asked first?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
her asking about the penalties.
So I just heard the question.
No excuses.
It's like, that didn't sound like Travis Kelce.
All right, I'm gonna bring up what I was asking you. We were just talking about this. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos, Stuart Weber here as well. 5 o'clock on a Monday. Tampa Bay is the world champion. Bucs win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady again, obviously a major part of that storyline with 7 Super Bowl titles. In the postgame, there was a reporter that asked a question of Byron Leftwich on the Zoom calls. Remember now, these are all Zoom calls. And he asked about shutting down Patrick Mahomes. So you can assume that he thought Byron Leftwich was Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
And Leftwich handled it well.
He did.
He kind of laughed it off.
He certainly did. And
well, you just won a Super Bowl, so you better laugh it off.
Well, that's true, right? You'll take anything.
You're in a pretty good mood.
I don't know the reporter. I tried to look him up today. Couldn't really find him. He's getting called out by
the
name.
first thing I looked for was who is this guy? So
You
I
did?
can
Well,
do a
the
little
name
research.
was
I
out
couldn't
there.
find
Like I saw either a USA Today article or an SI article. And their angle on it was basically Bowles and Leftwich are black.
Yeah.
And so this, once again, is a disrespect to the black coach. And I'm paraphrasing here, okay? But that was kind of a narrative out there. It wasn't the narrative, but it was a narrative out there. And I was like, I don't know. I think that's pushing it a little bit too far. It's a bad reporter moment. I think this happens with other coaches and players along the way as well. I understand in this instance it was 2 black men that are assistant coaches, but I thought that was taking it a bit too far, from being completely honest. The reporter messed up. And the reporter should have known better, and especially if you're asking questions at Super Bowls. So you can, I guess, lambaste the reporter, even though I'm not really a big fan of that either.
Yeah.
I just was wondering how you feel, how you felt about that. Did you take it as disrespectful to the black coach because you don't know the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator? I do think it's worth reminding people, offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, depending on which organization, don't talk all the time. Now, Bowles has been a head coach before, and so if you remember him from the Jets days, but I don't know. In my opinion, I just thought that narrative was going a little bit too far.
And I'll say, by the way, the Zooms don't say their names on them. They say podium number or whatever.
Did they not, though? I thought they might have said. Like, I thought he could have clicked into the wrong Zoom.
It's possible. Like, the sound I've seen on the servers that send us video, they all say podium whatever.
Okay.
And they don't say who it is.
Yeah, and I thought even, like, he could have just been like, I'm going to ask this question. Listen, depending if he's a young reporter, he's like, I'm going to ask this question, but ask this question. He clicks into the left. Clicks into the left.
No,
and I might be making an
I've
excuse
been there,
for
man.
him. So
was it you last night? Was that you?
It wasn't me. It was
okay.
I don't even now. I looked up the guy. I couldn't even find it. I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit much. And I did this. I want to give you a full story here. Go look at one of my tweets from last night. It was on Pedro Gomez, who unbelievably, unexpectedly passed away at the age of 58. Pedro Gomez, a reporter for ESPN, and most remembered, in my opinion, for his coverage of Barry Bonds through the steroids. Right? He was there like every step of the way with Bonds. But he is apparently, I don't know him, but look at the words being said about Pedro Gomez today, and apparently a true gentleman, great guy. But I retweeted a thread yesterday about an experience one reporter had with Gomez, and it was his time in the locker room covering La Russa in the Oakland A's, where La Russa just laid into a reporter, this young reporter, for making it was actually his paper that had like an erroneous headline. Well, reporters don't make the headline. The editors make the headline. And he was just killing this guy, a young reporter who usually was covering high school football but had to fill in for a day for somebody else. And Pedro Gomez from the rival paper steps up and be like, what the bleep, Tony? Give the kid a break. You know that he doesn't make the headlines. Like, he stood up for this guy.
Wasn't his fault.
So I saw that last night at 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I saw this morning at 8 o'clock where they were calling out this reporter. And I was just like, something's off here, It just feels like it's too much about a guy calling the wrong name.
Yeah. No, listen, in terms of race, like, I don't put the whole black and white thing, I don't put too much stake into that. Like, I don't think it's a black or white issue because, like you even mentioned it could be Gus Bradley and Todd Wash. I mean, they have some similarities.
Oh, they look like brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, Bowles and Leftwich don't look that alike.
No, they really don't. Okay, so did color have something to do with it? Well, listen, if it was a white coach and a black coach, it would have been different,
Fair
right?
enough.
Let's be honest there. So let's not deny that. But what I have the issue with is, like, listen. When I got to go on Radio Row and when I got to go cover, I remember the first time in Atlanta, like that's a privilege to me. I was like, holy crap. Like, I'm nervous as hell, but this is an honor to do this because not everybody can do this in my position. So, like, I take pride in that. And I think that if you're privileged enough to get this kind of access, to talk to these coaches after the Super Bowl, the biggest sporting event, one of the biggest sporting events in the world, you could argue, I got to do my due diligence.
Yeah.
And I have to at least be on my P's and Q's a little bit. Now, yeah, sure, you're going to be nervous. Maybe you're new to this thing. I was there. I made a fool of myself with the Rams cheerleaders. Stewart saw it.
It was I was behind the camera.
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
I didn't know what to do, man.
Say, come on, you're supposed to be nicer and say you are right. Also,
yeah, but you know what?
It was quality television.
But guess what?
That's all I need to say.
But guess what? I didn't call them the Patriots cheerleaders, did I? I called them the Rams cheerleaders. and that's the part. Like, yeah, it may have gone really bad, but at least I did my research enough to know whether the team that they cheered for it. And I feel like if you're in that kind of position, which a lot of people would obviously die to be in, you got to do your due diligence. You got to be a master of your craft and at least get the guy's name right. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Got that interview by saying we were ESPN Radio, by the way. We left off the 690
Oh,
part.
dude, I always do that. I still do that. I still do that. Yeah, duh.
Heck yeah.
I have the ESPN shirt. What are you talking about?
I can't tell you how many people think that we are paid by ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut, and also that people think that we work for Fox News. Fox News.
All the time.
Oh, like
Dude.
unbelievable the amount of people that think I work for Fox News.
My grandma is still convinced right now that if you go on ESPN 3 o'clock, I'll be on TV doing the show with you right now.
Why isn't he showing
Yeah,
up?
who's this guy right here? Who is this guy?
Grandma,
awesome.
get Facebook.
I know, right? You know, those days are long gone, Brent. We're all good.
Maybe
Twitch. She might be
on
a Twitch.
That's
Get her
not
on
for her,
Twitch.
man. That's not for
By
her.
the way, how about Bruce Arians' mom being there at 95 years
Right?
old?
That was
pretty
awesome.
cool when you're 68 years old. You can wave to mom up in the
That's
stands.
awesome,
That's
man.
pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
I thought that was terrific. Bruce Arians seems like such a cool guy.
For sure.
All right, Super Bowl in the books. Super Bowl of racing coming up next. Daytona 500. How's it going to be different this year? It will allow fans, but it just feels different. The way we can cover it is different, much like the Super Bowl, much like the Masters. All these events that we usually go to, well, it's just not the same.
Yeah, it is going to be different, obviously. I think it's 30,000 fans, I think is the number.
It's a pretty good amount, really.
Pretty good amount, but the stadium, the
They get
track
100,000
holds
in there.
100, 150,000. So, you spread those people out. It's no problem at all. It's interesting because they're taking their best practices from last year when they had to operate under the pandemic and finish out that season and kind of transferring it over to this year. One of the cool things with Speed Weeks this year is that starting tomorrow night, every night there is something to watch at the track all the way through the 500 on Sunday. So tomorrow you have the Busch Clash, which is being run on the road course at night, which will be interesting because if you know a NASCAR Cup Series car, the headlights on those things are stickers. It's a sticker. There's no headlights on NASCAR.
Yeah,
cars.
for sure.
Yeah, so they're going to have to add more lights in a few different places.
So
in
they're
them.
adding lights,
They're
obviously.
adding lights.
and,
But like the
across
Rolex
track.
24, which
Dang.
uses the same course, those cars have lights so they can see everything as they're going.
Interesting.
They have stickers for lights in the Cup Series. So that's tomorrow night. Wednesday night, you've got single car qualifying. Thursday, the duels. Friday, the trucks. Saturday, the Xfinity and the ARCA race. And then, of course, Sunday, the Great American Race.
Listen,
at
nobody,
the World Center of Racing.
Nobody talks NASCAR better than you do.
Doesn't he look a little bit like Jimmy Johnson with the beard?
I don't know what Jimmy
remember
Johnson looks
go
like.
look up Jimmy Johnson with the beard.
Jimmy had more salt to go with the pepper.
But when Jimmy Johnson grew out the
Got
beard,
like
I don't know if he had it last year.
Okay, I can see. Yeah, you definitely need a little more pepper. Or, I'm sorry, salt.
yeah.
Yes,
But doesn't he
But I
have a
can
little
see
Jimmy?
that.
That's a Jimmy Johnson kind of beard.
By the way, I'm not sure what like the ethics say being on like on the TV side of things, but that beard looks great. I say you keep it. No,
It's
I think it's
grown
good.
in nice. I actually kind of like it.
I think it looks great. I mean, can you have that?
Yeah, well, he's been on
Full-time?
TV.
No one
Nobody
said anything
Cool.
about it,
I
so,
don't-
you know.
I don't know if there's
Wait,
no
wait.
adequate.
Do you
but
think
back,
you want a lawsuit? No, you can't wear a beard.
No, I just don't. I mean, listen, man.
But,
I'm being.
that's one of the stigmas for the longest
well,
time.
Yeah,
You know.
If you turn on ESPN, nobody's really rocking a beard. to tell
You
the
know
truth.
what? You're right. I
There you
think
go.
that's more personal thing. What's his name? Who's the guy that does it out in L.A. With Stan Verrett?
Neil?
Kind of funny guy. Yeah, Neil Everett, right? He rocks a beard sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think like the Movember movement has kind of opened the door for a lot of TV folks, male TV folks, to kind of sport the mustache.
I would
or
agree with
beard.
that. And different times of quarantining. If you're quarantining at home, you're,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
far less likely to
point.
shave.
They didn't make me get a haircut in quarantine, then they're not going to make you shave that beard.
Good point. It's a dang good point.
Well,
But
and the funny thing is though I keep getting pot committed to it further and further is the problem. Not a problem, but it's a part of the situation because with the Super Bowl special, I had taped something with stand-ups, for TV for a
Sure.
special that was airing, which then means I
You
need
have
to
the
keep
beard.
it all the way through that special.
Yeah.
Well, I've taped some interviews for our Daytona special this Sunday with the beard, so
Yep.
the beard's
People come
lasting
to
at least
expect
through
something out of you.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Like I'm not committed to the beard, but we'll see what we go with it.
We had a guy at Albany, my buddy Scott Morlock. He had a beard, right? And he sported the beard on TV. And he did a show called it was Fox 23 Fast Track. So it was a racing show.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of dirt track stuff, but also mixed in like the NASCAR truck series.
Would
And it was
love
like,
that here.
and that fits.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
having the beard seemed to fit NASCAR, didn't it?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that burly kind of look.
Yeah.
I'm tough.
I don't think
Nah,
anyone's
Morlock wasn't that tough. Just to let you
no
know.
one's
And
calling
you're
me
not
that
tough
right.
either.
No one's calling me that right now, but yeah.
But
I
you
mean,
look
you look a lot
beard.
tougher, man. And what's that?
I mean,
Disrespect.
A scoop guy,
you look
Dilla.
tough.
He don't look that tough, doesn't he?
Ooh. Brent. That's Brent A.S. Jax on Twitter.
There you go. At least you got the right one.
Listen, yeah, I'm kind of hit or miss sometimes. But no, I had a NASCAR question. For you.
Okay, I like it.
So, have you been following the promotional commercials with NASCAR this year?
Yes.
Where it's like, this is the best season ever.
Yes.
All right, it's cool. I like it a lot. I dig it, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch a lot of it, but I'm into that commercial.
Sure.
But the thing that I'm curious about
Are they lying?
But no, the cool thing about it is
promotional.
Like, yeah, but the cool thing about it is like one part it's like, and it sounds like Sam Elliott, the guy from like Big Lebowski, the guy that was Tombstone. Like it's like his kind of voice. I'm not sure if it's him or not.
Great voice.
But there's one part where it's like, and the new guy with the new team or whatever. And do you know who that guy is they're talking about? They're referring to? And I wish I knew the number of the car, stuff like that. It's like a silver and black car. That's all I know. But then they keep going like in every commercial. It's like, and now there's the new guy on the new team. You know what I'm talking about?
I would have to see it.
I got to pull that commercial up.
If you could pull it up, it very well could be referencing Kyle Larson, who's back and joining Hendrick. Of course, we all know about his ordeal last year, where during the pause to racing, he gets caught using the N-word in a stream and gets kicked out of the sport for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Well, he's back this year, and
I don't think they'd be doing a promo about him.
No, I wouldn't think so either.
You don't think Sam Elliott's really...
I wouldn't think so either, but you never know.
I got to find this now.
It could be Bubba Wallace moving over to the 23 car, with co-ownership from, MJ.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty cool, the MJ Denny Hamlin deal. So,
that is actually something to watch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think, is Michael Jordan involved, or is his name just on it?
I think his name's on it.
Because remember now, Randy
and his
Moss,
number's on it, by the way.
I always thought the interesting thing was Randy Moss, who is not well liked right now in Duval, but he owned a truck in the truck series. I don't think he does anymore, but he was down there. We'd see him. Like, he was actively involved. Brad Doherty, obviously, is heavily involved in NASCAR. That's like the greatest example of crossing over sports. Yeah, I tend to think, I don't think we'll see Jordan at the track much.
I think
maybe
you'll see him in Charlotte.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. But I bet maybe he is at the 500.
It could be.
It is the Daytona 500.
It is. And it's the debut, of the...
Now I got to make sure I'm there Sunday.
The 23...
I just
track down MJ.
If he's going to be there, let's go, Brent.
Yeah.
Can you bring me too, please? You're not even an MJ fan.
By the way...
I'm doing this interview, not you.
I'm just going to ask about Larry Bird the whole time.
So Pitbull's going to be there.
Yeah.
Pitbull is the Grand Marshal. By the way, he's
the Grand Marshal?
Yeah, they give these honorary titles.
Is he driving a minivan?
It's not a Miami Speedway.
He's a part owner for one of the teams this year as well, by the way.
And?
I'm just saying.
Okay, it should be Michael Jordan, the Grand Marshal, but go ahead.
Didn't you say, was it you a couple years ago? Wasn't that the 40-year-old minivan line with the...
Oh, yeah. No, I forgot about that. I'm like, where are you going with the minivan? No, I got you. Yeah.
In a minivan
Listen. Unless you're a 40-year-old divorced dad in a minivan, don't listen to Pitbull. There we go. I got you, bro.
Honorary starter is Sasha Banks.
People were not mad at that, but people were offended by that comment, by the way, too. The 40-year-old, I'm 39 years old in a minivan. What are you talking about? But no, so Sasha Banks, I like that.
Divorce rate is
big
high.
right now. What are you telling?
Yeah, the Fox WWE connection continues for another year. Sheamus was on one of the jobs last year. This year it's Sasha Banks.
Cool.
I remember seeing Sheamus there.
They keep the wrestling thing going thanks to the Fox partnership.
Is there who's singing the national anthem?
It has not been announced yet, or it has, and I don't know. One of those two.
Maybe Pitbull doing like a dual feature where he's like the Grand Marshal and singing the national anthem?
Could be.
Dale? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
They usually go with more of... It's Dale, by the way. It's not Dale.
Dale. No,
Dale.
Oh,
like
I
Dale
got
Jr.
you. I got you. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who's going to do the national anthem. They
Probably
usually go with
some
the
country artist.
They go with the country act.
Well, I can't find this commercial, man, so I'll get back to you on that one.
I'll find it at some point, the new kid. But yeah, so I mean, everyone's excited about racing coming back, and we'll be down there tomorrow night for the Busch Clash to get things started.
Yeah, Stuart's going to be there, I think, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yep.
We have an hour special on Daytona 500. Speaking of specials, we just did a making of a champion special Saturday night. We kind of liked how it came out. Hope you watch. Yeah. But humble brag, you can check out on our YouTube channel, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, a lot of the stories, including one on Urban Meyer in his hometown that we did from our trip a week and a half ago. So Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 on YouTube, where you can also listen to the show daily, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Daytona coverage all week long. Kuz, jump in here on the NBA real quick. You said Kevin Garnett. Is Kuz over there? Kevin Garnett is trending.
Yeah, he was trending there. A New York Times article came out where he was kind of talking about a bunch of stuff, and in it he was talking about how he didn't feel like players, back 20, 30 years ago could play in the NBA today. And he talked a lot about reasons being like you can't hand check and things like that. But he also brought up like that players now feel like they're like part of the NBA in terms of like they represent the NBA. They're a part owner in a way, and they're working on their brands. And he was kind of, one of the quotes was essentially him just saying, I just wanted to go there and play basketball, and I didn't want to have to worry about anything else.
Well, what do you think about it? My first take, I understand what he's saying to a degree, right? We talk about branding all the time. It sounds like as you're explaining that, he's saying a little bit more like they're almost like tied in with the NBA as like a corporate partner.
Yeah, he said that Adam Silver's done a good job about making players feel like they're a part of it, and feel like they definitely represent the NBA in a way.
I got a feeling that if Kevin Garnett was playing in this generation and he grew up in this generation, he'd be just fine. I do think, listen, style of play, I don't know where the cutoff in old school hoops is versus new school hoops.
Yeah.
But I've always said this, I think LeBron James could play in any generation, right?
He's too big, too athletic, too skilled. Yes. Right.
And whether that was thinking about Hollywood or thinking about his brand or making super teams, I don't know. But I think his game would translate. I believe the same with even a Steph Curry. You can shoot. Now, go way back and you wouldn't get 3 for it. You'd get 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Let's just bring up my guy, right? Larry Bird. I don't know. I don't think Larry Bird would be on Twitter and branding. I don't feel that.
I don't think Larry Bird would be starting right now in the NBA, but go on.
Wow.
Go on. What? Because he can shoot 3-pointers? I can find 10 guys right now in the NBA can shoot 3-pointers, Larry. Better bring something to the table besides 3-point shooting.
You like Luka, though?
But last time I checked, Luka can facilitate, man. Luka can drive the lane. I can't see Larry Bird doing that.
Oh, my gosh.
What's up?
Oh, my gosh.
What's up, man? It's all right, though. Go on and keep making your point with Larry Bird.
If you really want to take a deep dive, though, about Luka, go look at his shooting percentages, specifically from 3. I'm not saying he's
this year.
I'm not saying he's his whole career, he's never been over 31%.
Okay, well, it's not he's a point guard.
I know.
But here's the thing, though.
By the way, Larry Bird's a better passer than Luka.
Be honest, though.
All right?
Be honest. Are we taking Joe Ingles or Larry Bird first right now? Like, who's coming? Who's going to come on the court first? Joe Ingles, Larry Bird.
What are you looking for?
In general.
Joe Ingles.
I'm just saying, too close to call.
Joe Ingles got a great shot.
Great shot.
Telling you.
One of the best shots I've seen in a while.
Was Joe Ingles on Little House on the Prairie?
That's Laura Ingalls. There might be like a relation. Talk about Laura Ingalls Wilder, Brad. I got you, man.
Yeah,
Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Pretty good pull right there. I was surprised
Someone
you knew
say
that.
the best poll. Yeah. What was more impressive? You brought that up, or I knew that.
Well,
all right.
I think
horse apiece.
We just yin and yang, right?
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Kuz will make it into a promo later.
Keep making your Larry Bird point here. That's not going to hit with anybody.
Kevin Garnett, Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan would survive.
That's a name I know. Go on.
NASCAR co-owner Michael Jordan?
Would Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan,
yes,
would they thrive in this setting of the NBA right now in terms of what they're talking about? Would they?
Yeah.
I would see them being exactly like LeBron James, like Kevin Durant, like those guys. That's why I think Kevin Garnett's wrong here. Like I don't think the yesterday generation. Now again, if you want to go back to like the 60s, I don't have as good a feel for that. But if you're talking about like the 80s and 90s, even though it was bad boy era and the physical play was different, I think a lot of those athletes, a lot of those players, a lot of those guys would translate into this modern day Twitter world, corporate branding, all that stuff, buy into what Adam Silver's doing. I think they would be doing the exact same thing, to be honest.
No, I don't think you're wrong.
I don't think Garnett's right on that.
No, I mean, I think like this is kind of Garnett just trying to flex his generation's muscles.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it'd be like me saying.
Listen, I've tried to help him before.
No, for sure. But it'd be like back in the day, like when we had real two-a-days in the NFL, and like we didn't have the TikTok videos with Juju Smith-Schuster and all this stuff. Like I could very well go ahead and try to stake that claim and talk bad about the newer generation, but. Why?
I mean, Michael Irvin and those guys would fit perfectly fine in today's NFL.
Thank you very much.
Right?
Deion Sanders, come on.
It's always a flawed argument when you're comparing generations because you're not snatching somebody in a time machine and putting them in the same game now wearing their short shorts. They're growing up through the same way that these players grew up now.
Absolutely.
With the same benefits that they have now as far as weight training and specialized trainers. You're talking about giving all those assets to these guys that didn't have them. So any cross-generational argument like that, that's always a flawed argument.
At the end of the day, I wish that could happen, though, because I guarantee you that I would have more Twitter followers than Larry Bird would have. He'd be the least unfollowable person in the NBA.
Yeah.
What is he going to tweet out? Went to practice.
I still don't think you don't give Bird enough credit for the commercials,
somebody to do
Converse
that for
and
him.
McDonald's
Don't
commercials
worry.
are pretty damn good.
So, okay, the McDonald's commercial, I'll give it to Larry Bird. The McDonald's commercial, fantastic. The rapping Converse commercial, Brent. Hey, come on, man. Come on, like I understand you're blinded by the 33 and that whatever. That's fine.
I'm so blinded by 33. Last night, Mahomes and the Chiefs had 3rd and 33, and I almost tweeted 3rd and Larry Bird.
And I'm glad you did,
Bird,
man.
Baby.
And
Third and Bird should have tweeted it.
Is this my
3rd and Bird?
is this my opportunity to bring up TJ McConnell?
This was the only reason I brought up the NBA was for
perfect.
you to get in on TJ McConnell.
I mean, we knew the breakdown. You got the song.
Can we do the breakdown tomorrow?
Oh, I don't even know if I still have the song.
What did he play last night? Because the breakdown always comes from the previous game. So if he plays
Pacers,
tonight,
I don't believe played last.
So the
Okay,
idea
then
with
play tonight.
he had 15 assists.
And he
here we
assisted
go.
on 41 points in the game and 11 threes, which was the most in the past 25 years for a player coming off the bench.
This is the greatest.
I saw you tweet about that, and when I saw him tweet about that part of it, like the 15 assists is pretty impressive. But when he tweets about how many assisted baskets, like I thought he actually meant he had 41 points and 15 assists.
He assisted on those.
We're going deep diving. What was his offensive efficiency?
Very good.
Goose.
He was a +8. Come on.
You had us at 15 assists, okay? That's
Leave it
good.
there.
No, that's good. He set a record, the most in 25
someone call that John Morant
seasons.
numbers. Someone could call that John Morant numbers in a game. But then you're like Icarus, you flew a little too close to the sun, and you started getting all these analytics and stuff. Now you lost us, man.
No, that's
good,
though.
Now guess what? No breakdown tomorrow because of that right there.
Goose, how many people had COVID for TJ to play?
Oh.
No, he came off the bench. He always comes off the bench. They traded Oladipo, so he's probably the second or third one to come in.
Indiana, devastated by COVID-19, had 4 players on the court the entire time. TJ McConnell being one of them.
I don't understand is how didn't he wear the TJ McConnell jersey today?
I know.
Like, of all days, this is the day to
It's
wear
on my
it.
wall in my office.
My credit card got stolen because of that jersey, but no, you can't even wear it. One time I got it for you. All right.
It's in my office on the wall.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm out.
You can stay if you want, Weber, but
Now
thanks
we're
for
going to put the
stopping
show
by.
together. We'll be on Fox 30 at 6:53.
And by the way,
With that good-looking beard.
Stuart saw the
time.
commercial.
That's right.
It was Bubba
It was
Wallace, right?
Bubba.
It was Bubba.
In the 23 car.
Yeah. I didn't think they'd be promoting Kyle Larson this year.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
No doubt. Hey, when we come back, is this the greatest generation of athlete? Tom Brady leading the way? Those old guard guys would say absolutely not. What do you think when we come back on ESPN 690?
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, dropping into the 50s, and mostly cloudy Tuesday with scattered showers and perhaps a thunderstorm. It'll be mild with highs 70 to 75. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now through Valentine's you can save thousands. Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. Pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
Brent Martineau.
How many push-ups did you do in 3 minutes? Did you try the challenge?
Austin Lane.
I don't need lactic acid buildup when I'm in fight camp. Brent, you kidding me? Take my word for it. More than you.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I'm so proud of all these guys down here. Everything we dealt with all year. We had a rough month in November, but BA had all the confidence in us. The team had a lot of confidence. We came together at the right time. I think we knew this was going to happen tonight, didn't we? We ended up playing our best game of the year.
That is Tom Brady, the GOAT. You know the GOAT has really taken on, right? And it has been for a couple years, but when my mom calls me today and says, "What do you think about the GOAT?"
Oh, she knows, yeah. She knows what's up.
She's using the lingo.
She knows what's up.
It's no longer Tom Brady. And the Bucs get it done. I did tweet this, and I tweet a lot, but
and I'm getting some love right now, too, on Twitter over Larry Bird, so I hope you feel special about yourself.
Are they hammering you, I hope?
Yeah, some guy, did you really just say Larry Bird wouldn't start in the modern NBA? No, there's a little satire involved with that, let's be honest. But
Larry Bird's been a satirical thing here on the show.
But here's the coolest part about it. So he tweeted me a GIF, and it says, "You're not wrong, you're stupid." And it's the Cat in the Hat. The problem is, though, is this guy doesn't appear to know how to use a GIF, because the GIF is just a picture.
It's just a picture.
So you try to send me a GIF, but you sent me a picture.
So would that be a meme instead?
I mean, it's a meme, but it's supposed to be the GIF, because the way it's framed and everything.
I get you.
So,
it's a Larry Bird thing. Don't worry. Don't worry, whoever.
Of course, Larry Bird fans don't know how to use
Larry
GIFs.
Bird's back.
Of course, Larry Bird fans don't know how to use GIFs. You guys probably call them GIFs, too.
I know how to use GIFs, and sometimes I do call them GIFs.
I bet you. See? I got you pegged. Got you pegged.
I've said this before. From an appreciation standpoint of greatness, Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, throw your names in there, that it could be arguably the best generation ever to watch. And I always preface this by, and I'm sorry if I've said this so many times that you've heard it so many times before, but if you ask me where I would like to go back and live in time and pick a sports or, era, I always say like the 40s to the 60s, because then I could see some of the great baseball players, the Ted Williams of the world, the Mickey Mantles of the world. I just thought that was just this golden era of baseball. And I think that's right when it comes to baseball. I don't think baseball is like that anymore, not nearly. It was America's pastime at that time, and you had some of the greats and this biggest probably collection of greats all at once, untainted, if you will, along the way. But even in that era, you had the Celtics, right? That dynasty with Bill Russell and all the rest. So that's where I kind of come from. Like, what era would you like to be in? I grew up, I was born in 77, so, born through the 80s. I was a big sports fan. So the Montana stuff, the Marino stuff, that quarterback class of 83, I watched Bird and Magic and Jordan. So, I got to experience some of this. I didn't see Jack Nicklaus play. I've seen all Tiger Woods play. So I just believe, and it's debatable. I understand that. I'm not here to say it is no doubt the greatest. But I do think we have to stop and appreciate sometimes. And even if you want to throw in other sports. Yeah. Somebody was on Twitter was Michael Phelps.
What he's got 20?
Yeah, he's the greatest swimmer of all
gold
time.
Medals?
Right? We've seen that.
Yeah.
You take tennis, and a lot of people would say the Pete Samprases or pick your old school guy.
Serena.
But Serena, Djokovic, underrated. But even if you want to just put Federer and Nadal up there, as Federer's the greatest of all time, I think you could make the case for, even though the majors, I think, now lean in the way of Djokovic, if I'm not mistaken. You take the compilation of sports, and we're getting LeBron, so that's second running. But some, like this generation, will debate, debate wrong, most likely. Tom Brady is undoubtedly the guy in football.
Yeah.
I put Mike Trout's name on there, and I think somebody said, wait a minute. And you're probably right. That'd be more like putting Mahomes up there right now. Trout's in the middle of it, but Trout is on pace to do things that will rival some of the greatest of all time in baseball. I don't know if he's going to win big. But anyway, that was the point, the nature of it. As you watch Brady, it's almost like, don't worry about who you root for. I understand we have our, we like certain athletes, we like certain teams. Some of us drive, whether it's Duke basketball or the Yankees for me. But when you have this unbelievable generation of talent and some of the absolute, undeniable greats of all time that we are getting to witness, I just think it's an era of sports that we will talk about until I'm 90-something years old on the back porch with my great-great-grandkids.
Yeah. Listen, so like, if you want to talk about the era, obviously there's the MJ era, right? Because I'm not going to count MJ and then obviously Brady in the same era.
He can't be.
And see, to me, it's funny because this essentially, it's kind of like the GOAT debate, what I'm going to start out with here. Like, who's better, Tom Brady or Michael Jordan? Well, to me, like, that's a hard argument because it's two different sports, right? Like, I can sit here and say for Michael Jordan, and I'm obviously a little biased towards him, but I can sit here and say, well, Michael Jordan has won the season MVP 5 times. So that means in his career, during the regular season, during that run, he was the best player in the NBA. How many times, like, we can't say it this past year, like, was Tom Brady the best player in the NFL this past season? No. And how many times can we really say Tom Brady was the best player in the NFL? Maybe 3, maybe 4 times, right? I think he won the MVP award 3 times.
Yeah.
So, like, there's always that. Then there's always, Michael Jordan played offense, whatever the case may be. But to answer your question, and not to get too sidetracked here, listen, I'm a big MJ fan. Don't get it twisted. But I feel like the drop-off from MJ to LeBron, while some may argue there's a lot there, to me, what I'm watching, it's negotiable. Okay, so like I would take LeBron.
So you're
even
saying
worse.
it's not this dramatic drop
from MJ to LeBron.
I agree with you there. I thought you were going to say the other thing, like it's this huge drop. I don't think it is a huge drop.
I don't think it's a huge drop. I think MJ will always be the GOAT of basketball, hands down.
I agree with that.
And I think LeBron James, though, for what he's able to do, what he's been able to accomplish, like it, I'm not missing that much.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, I don't mind saying this is the greatest era, even though Michael Jordan, in my opinion, is the greatest athlete of all time. But I'm going to say, well, you know what? We still got LeBron James.
Yeah.
And then you see
he's establishing himself as almost like a clear number 2 as well.
Exactly.
Don't you think?
Exactly. And then you see what Tom Brady has been able to accomplish, and it's like, well, come on, man.
Well,
now,
the book is shut on that.
Exactly. Well, with Tom Brady, so what?
Well, the book is shut on Tom Brady being the greatest of all time in football.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
Like it's not even a debate.
Hands down. And then if you want to throw, you can throw Phelps in there, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, guys like Phelps. I think the periphery of sports is, listen, we don't have a hockey one, right? There was Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
You can go all the way back to Hull and Howe and all the rest. This isn't that era for hockey. And some of it's less mainstream. And I understand we could throw a lot of different sports in here. We could throw Jimmy Johnson in if we want. We could show I think we look at this argument a lot in the main four, but I don't think we can ignore. Like, Serena has established herself as the greatest women's tennis player of all time and one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Without a doubt. And she's doing it by her. It's not a team sport. Like, listen, for all that Tom Brady's accomplished, like I just said, how many times through Tom Brady's career could you sit there and say during the regular season, this is the best player in the NFL? Okay? Now, don't get it twisted. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Can't take that away from him. But he was also surrounded by greatness as well. He was also surrounded by good defenses that played complementary football with him. So a lot had to fall into place for Tom Brady to be the GOAT. When you have, athletes like Serena Williams, Michael Phelps, those are individual sports, okay? Those are just you. It's you making it happen. So they should be celebrated as well.
So I think what's interesting here is if you go the Wayne Gretzky era, somebody said, like, you had Gretzky was done in, like, the early 90s, if I remember. Jordan is coming on strong at the time, so I guess that would count in the same era. And Montana at the time was kind of considered the greatest of all time once he won his 4. Yeah. So you did have that trio of players. And somebody mentioned
baseball?
Bonds.
Bonds.
But Bonds, I don't know if I link Bonds into that era. I think Bonds was more kind of started to come on, I want to say in 92, 93, 94, but then like his stardom hit late 90s and then the cheating era and scandal and all that stuff. But I don't really link him into the Wayne Gretzky, Joe Montana era of players. I would link Bonds more into this era of players, but he's kind of more in the Jordan era. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, Jordan's in his own little era. Like, I don't really link Montana and Jordan together, although they did overlap. I just don't see that as being the same era. And so that's kind of my point of the argument. And again, there is some overlap. It just depends how technical you want to get about this. Sure. The one thing that's very interesting is in baseball, most people consider Babe Ruth to still be like the guy on that pedestal. Yeah. And I think it is debatable. If you want to put Hank Aaron there or others, I do believe that. But still, what he did back in the day, the legend of the Babe, to hit and pitch and play both ways, it just hasn't been duplicated. And so he stands alone in an era that, like, it's hard to find an almost equal in baseball. Like, I mean, and Bonds is going to be tainted. So are you going to do that? You know?
Listen, I want to carry this conversation out a little
Ken
more,
Griffey
maybe to the next
Jr.?
break here, because I think we got one more segment coming up. I want to take this a little farther. Coaching.
Well,
Phil Jackson.
I thought about that.
Bill Belichick, Nick Saban. What is most impressive? To me, I'm going the most impressive resume.
Okay, so you're not really talking, because I wouldn't put Jackson in this time of Saban,
I mean,
Saban
listen,
and Belichick.
I'll go the era right now. I mean, obviously you got Nick Saban, you got Bill Belichick, probably the two greatest coaches at their spots ever.
And if you deep dive on coaches, you might find some similarities,
Sure,
right? You
sure.
might, from Newt Rockne to Vince Lombardi to when all those guys, and there were some great baseball managers, the rest. But we'll hit on that. The Belichick, Saban, Phil Jackson.
Would you say, Red, right?
Yeah, Red Auerbach would be up there. A lot of those. There's a lot of coaches will leave off this list. That's the thing. I think the coaches is a tough
we can
list.
go,
But now that very few people will debate that Saban and Belichick are in the conversation, and that is both right now in this era.
I mean, John Wooden you can go with.
Wooden, of course, yeah. So you think of the greatness of this era. Again, we can debate all day. I understand it's a circular debate, if you will. But the bottom line is we should appreciate greatness.
Yes.
And we're right in the middle of it. And Tom Brady's a big reason why we're in the middle of it. So whether you root for him or not, you got to at least appreciate it. We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The NFL season that no one thought would happen ended last night with history and Tom Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl. Here's Super Bowl 55 MVP Tom Brady on playing through a COVID-impacted season.
Yeah, we went through all of them, and, we dealt with them, tried to understand, the challenges that were going to be presented, and there was a lot of them, but, there was no guys just did what we were asked, and we tried to just show up with a great attitude to work however it was. We were pretty fortunate on our team. Guys were really disciplined with all the protocols in place, and we ended up getting the job done.
Even though Brady was the MVP, the defense stole the show, holding last year's champs to just 3 field goals and keeping pressure on Patrick Mahomes, allowing him just 270 passing yards and picking him off twice. This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Everyone at CGC Water hopes your new year is off to a fantastic start, and CGC Water wants to give you the gift of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer. $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pets' changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
It's time to celebrate your love with a special gift from Beard's Diamonds.
Now through February 14th, you can get the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed, on hundreds of specially designed Valentine pieces at beardsdiamonds.com.
Show her how much she means to you with a 1/4-carat diamond Circle of Love necklace, retail $600, Beard's special Valentine price $390. You save almost $300.
Or give her a 1/2-carat diamond heart necklace, retail $900, Beard's Valentine price $585. You save over $300.
How about a pair of 1-carat diamond stud earrings?
Retail $25.50.
Beard's Diamonds price $16.57.
You save almost $900.
And with every purchase between now and Valentine's,
your loved one receives a free dinner at Fogo de Chao.
Beard's Diamonds has the largest selection of engagement rings and GIA certified loose diamonds at the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed. See more at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
The lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
Hey, do you owe more than $25,000 on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station. My name is Deborah. I serve as a district manager for the Florida Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. I am passionate about helping others and advocating to protect the quality of life and the rights for those who many times cannot help themselves. You can make a difference in someone's life today. Visit us at ombudsman.myflorida.com to learn more.
If you love golf or know somebody who does, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus cart fees with a Dream 18 golf cart at great area golf courses like St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River Golf Club, and Eagle Landing Golf Club. And this isn't just a golf cart. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 cart for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift. Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
This really belongs to our coaching staff and our players. This is your trophy. I didn't do a damn thing. You guys won this game, all right? You came together as a band of brothers, and you made it happen. So proud of all of you. Thank you.
As Bruce Arians.
I mean, are there two more likable coaches than Andy Reid and Bruce Arians?
That's a good call. Really good call.
Because, like, did you hear what Bruce Arians was saying? Like, at the press conference, I didn't do anything, man. Like, that's all on the offensive coordinator, and obviously with Leftwich and defensive coordinator and Bowl. I was watching.
I tell you what, like, so people love that, right? Where
Yeah.
you deflect and you raise other people up. And again, I'll go back to kind of the top of the show. I think that's why Brady is so good, because he does the same thing.
Yeah.
He does the same thing in that locker room where he is like the king above everything, but he doesn't make it seem that way. There are many guys, and human nature maybe would even say that, okay, yeah, you know what, I am the you-know-what. Act like I'm the you-know-what.
Yeah.
And he has to get down on other people's normal level. I know that sounds foolish and overdramatic, but I think that's real. Like,
But it's
people
not
are in
easy,
awe
though.
of Brady.
That's not
No, he
easy
has
to be
to work
genuine
on that.
about it, but to be genuine about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, if you're faking it, then people are like, okay, look at this dude.
The
You know?
bottom line is he brought Antonio Brown into his home.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the length of either brotherhood he appreciates, teammates he appreciates. Like, why does Tom Brady need to bring? He's already got Godwin, Gronk. He's already got Mike Evans.
Because it helps him win, though.
I understand,
You know?
but
Yeah.
it's deeper than that, though. It's not just he's not bringing Antonio Brown into his house
to help him
win. He might bring Antonio Brown into Tampa to help him win,
Yeah.
and he might even pay for his room if he needs it.
Sure,
but he ain't
sure.
bringing him into his house.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. You're right.
I mean, you talk about the genuine nature of that.
Yeah, which is genuine.
Who else would you have brought Antonio Brown into your house in Jacksonville?
I mean, depends on how good our ratings would do. Endorsement deals possibility? No, probably not, Brent. I really wouldn't, because I'd have the conversation with my wife and my son and be like, hey.
And by the way, like, I think that's a cool part of it. Like, I saw an Antonio Brown soundbite today
Yeah.
about
It
how much
seems
he's helped
like
him, and he
he's-
seems like he's got a little bit
Yeah.
in a better place, and good for him. Like, listen, he was in a bad place. I understand he's a punchline sometimes, and we have to be careful of that.
We do.
It's in kind of talk radio and on social media, and he becomes like this laughing stock. But he had some issues, and I'm not saying his issues are by him, but he looks like he's in a better place, and that's a good thing for any human, whether he's a football player or not.
And here's the thing, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure of all the allegations, in terms of, I remember the lady
Domestic,
that came out,
yeah.
all the domestic stuff, so I'm not confident with how that all transpired. I really have no idea, to tell you the truth. Maybe I should look into that a little more. But I think with Antonio Brown, like, let's be honest, he was on a slippery slope to nowhere, okay? I mean, the way that he exited Oakland at the time, even the way he exited the Steelers, but, like, listen, he got what he wanted in Oakland, and all of a sudden he leaves Oakland, he goes into New England. Bill Belichick, the culture builder of all culture builders, couldn't even really save Antonio Brown per se. And how many times have we seen athletes, whether it's a mistake or whether it's just, the reputation, they get cast aside, they get thrown back to society, and you never hear from them again. And when you do, it's in the worst possible light.
Absolutely.
And what did Tom Brady do? He goes, all right. And listen, skill had something to do with it as well, right? The Antonio Brown, the wide receiver, had something to do with this as well, right? It wasn't Tom Brady's like, hey, out of the goodness of my heart, I'm going to bring in a
Hey,
lost
Brent,
cause.
you look like
and,
you're struggling.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, let's see. What do you run the 40 in?
5.4?
5.4? Yeah, but I still think you can help us.
But no, for sure. So listen, there was something to gain out of that, obviously. But it says a lot about Tom Brady that, listen, he put his name, his reputation
his
on
family.
Antonio Brown. And he risked it on a guy who, let's be honest, the past couple of years, the worst kind of optics.
Yeah.
It goes to show you the power and the influence of Tom Brady there.
Yeah, I think that's something special about Brady. Again, I just to bookend the show, I think that will be talked about for decades and decades to come. I think that will be the revealing part of Tom Brady, just how good he was in that sense. What will you remember from the Super Bowl?
Oh,
How will we remember Super Bowl 55?
You know what? I'm going to remember And as crazy as it sounds, I remember Patrick Mahomes doing everything they can, these crazy passes, and just not getting zero help whatsoever. Because I think those moments right there, those type of games, if you learn from them, they can be crucial down the line.
I think I'll remember just how much we should warn actually how the Jags build this thing. Everything going into this game was quarterback, Mahomes, Brady. It's absolutely important. It's vitally important. But I think what we were also reminded is you better be good with the big fellas.
The guys trenches, Brent.
You better be good there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have to be dominant there, but you better be good there. Because what Kansas City was so bad, they didn't even give themselves a chance to win.
Yeah.
And you hate it for them that it came down to that because of injuries. But they were so bad, they did not give themselves a chance to win. Hat tip to the Bucs, but that's the way that thing played out.
Do you know how much I was wishing that Tampa Bay would have been just a little better in the run game so I can say, yep, see what happens, Brett? You got to run the football, stop the run.
Well, they were good enough.
They stopped the run, but, like, to be fair, that was kind of Kansas City shooting themselves in the foot a little bit.
Yeah.
But not running the ball more.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they did do the things that you say. They ran the ball, they stopped the run.
But it's the most cliche thing.
And they were good in the trenches, and they also had the greatest quarterback of all time. And it was one heck of a coaching performance as well. That's going to do it tonight for Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Live, local, loud, more Super Bowl talk coming up on the way. We'll see you on TV, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a good night.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence, or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy.